Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. How do I sound? Hopefully it's better. I feel like my neck's in a little vice. It's kind of hard to describe. You'll see when we're ready to pop in. All right. And then we go to video. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you this fine day? Hopefully I don't sound like shit. It feels like my neck's a little trapped, but the audio, I think, does sound good unless I have it not facing the right way. If I don't, then we're great. Instead, we're doing the whole extra gamer life type thing, which is the wearing headphones around your neck. I will say, though, it is... Oh, no, I can pull them away. Oh, no, it's not that bad. Okay, I was being stupid. They were super taut up there. Okay, it's not much better. Much better. I will probably have to move it to the left, but I can't have it too far away from my mouth. So there's just going to be this awkward ball right in front of my mouth. Hey, it's fine. We don't need to go into that sentence any deeper than we did. But ladies and gentlemen, the damn headphones finally came. It does feel a little bit like your head's in... You know when you see those people who have the neck thing? It's like a neck brace almost. It kind of feels like that. Like, yeah, your neck is like, I'm not used to like not being able to look down, and then my chin hits the pads. I know there's some that can flip downwards, but that wouldn't work because I need the mic to go up anyway. So it's just a unique problem, we'll say. But I do think the audio sounds significantly better, and they're wireless, so I'm anywhere and everywhere, and I'm gonna move these a little bit to the left. But yes, ooh, okay, right. I forgot to put it. Yeah, the good catch, Lone. Good catch. But if my face isn't on the audio, it looks normal, right? We're gonna do this, copy that amount of delay, then slap that in there. Thank you, Alone, for finding that. Absolute beast. Advanced. There we go. Paste, and we're good. All right, so now it should be properly delayed. Good stuff. Thank you, Nub, as well, for telling me. Thanks, gang. Does it sound good? Oh, better. Yes, I do. It does sound better when I'm actually, when I'm locked in and it's near my mouth. I can also hear myself here, which is nice. But I don't like the way I look. I'm self-conscious with the way I look with that. So we're just gonna keep it real close to my face and be good. The audio is out of sync for me. Yes. I didn't delay it by 5 seconds. So that's why it was a little weird. It's going to take some time for me to get used to this thing being the way it is. Also, the thing is out of thing. Other than desync, it sounds fine. That's good to hear. Fine is passable. As long as it's not grating or just not enjoyable to hear, then that's what we're about, all right? We're not about the perfection game. We're about the good enough gang, if that makes any sense. But ladies and gentlemen, we got so many things to talk about. First of all, I've been heavily enjoying Dragon's Dogma. I think what an absolute banger of a game. There's a dog by my by my door sniffing around. But yes, Nub says video seems way out of sync. Video? This one? What do you mean? Other than the desync, it's fine. There is the audio. It would have been delayed. But yes, other than that, is it okay now, or is it still broken? Please tell me before we get too ahead of myself and I start rambling about random stuff and we get all into a flow of things. Also, man, in Withering Waves, we'll stop. I'll let you guys respond. Audio is still out of sync for the mic. About 2 seconds. It shouldn't be. Okay, I'll fix it. 2 seconds. What would that be? Audio is desynced. Yeah, so it's still desynced. Did I not hit apply? Why? Also, did it get improved? Let me see. What the heck is going on with this? So if it's off by 2 seconds, does that mean I need to put it like this to... We could try 80. Is it better now? I really should just like listen through the thing and try to make that make sense and work. I could try that. It's gonna be work. I gotta do it live. Let me put in my normal headphones, and then we will go to The stream. Maybe that's dangerous. I'll make sure my stream key. Face cam won't work either. Actually, it might work. We do paste. Okay, so now I think that should be good. Am I coming through good? So we're on full face cam. Okay, good. Good. It's a little scuffed, as it always is, stream. Stream would not be normal if it wasn't a little bit broken. It is better. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me also mute the PC so that you guys aren't hearing my voice twice. It's already muted. Okay, good. How do I mute that? It's not. The PC is already muted, I guess? Must be. Okay. All right. I'm talking 1, 2, 3, 4. That delay is a motherfucker, isn't it? All right, it's coming. It's getting to it. Jesus Christ, make it. It's just a fucking solid 10 seconds of delay. Hey. It's not perfect. It's like a little bit more. Okay. Audio, okay. I'm gonna hear myself complain about the delay now. It's either 1,000. Okay. Again. 1, 2, 3. All right. All right, come on. I know this camera angle is way too zoomed in. Forgive me. Okay, wait for it, wait for it. I'm seeing it now. Okay. No, that really didn't help. Is it less or more? I can't tell if it's going forward or backwards. We're gonna get there, gang. Oh, where's this? Let's try 70. Okay, let's see. 1, 2. Okay. Hello, Lycanthrope. Hey, gang, we're trying to sync audio. It's rough out here. I got a new headset, so the audio is better, but it's also, I got to delay it the perfect amount. That was pretty good. I think we're back. I think we're back. Okay. I might add a 60. So it's 760 ms. Okay. I think that's good. Let's see. Remind me if it's not, because we could fix and adjust. Okay. Sorry about that, gang. I forgot that was like, yeah, I thought I could just get away with it by doing just copying what my microphone was desynced at, but it's just different enough to where it wasn't quite playing. But hopefully the audio sounds good. Hopefully it's good. Lycanthrope says, hello. What's going on? How's it going? It's going good, Lycanthrope. We're just trying to fix the thing. I got these new headphones because I do a lot of VR stuff, and I need something that's like Bluetooth headphones that have a good mic. I just need a good mic, actually, just for doing like VR stuff. But all the like Bluetooth mics I've seen just revved up in expensiveness, basically, like really badly. So then I looked. I think you know when you go down like a sub rabbit hole that just yields you so much of like, oh my god, I almost spent like $300 on something that only does one thing and it's bad at it, but it's kind of okay at it. But yes, but it's just because it's the only thing that's in the specific subcategory of like, you can attach technically this microphone to any headset, therefore you can just get a really good headset and this stupid adapter thing, and then you'll be good. Whereas there's like microphones, like this is the best microphone supposedly in headsets. I do think it is. I checked out a lot and it does just sound the clearest, I hope. It does sound better when you're wearing it, because I'm not wanting to wear it. I'm having to MacGyver in weird ways, but hopefully it still sounds good. Oh, also it has really good like pop sensitivity. Like I don't notice like ear bleed stuff quite happening a lot. Is it still desynced, or are we at least back in it now? It's synced now. Okay, good. I was about to say, I thought it sounded like it was close. Like I could I probably will finagle with it to about like the decimal of like 60%, because it's 700. You have to jump by hundreds to get sufficient movement. Delay. I think it's every second, so it's only a 7-second delay. Is that correct? Something like that. But yes. Lycanthrope says, it sounds perfectly well. Good. I can't wait. I can't wait to do some VR streams with you guys. Again, it does sound better when it's actually perfect on my face. I do have normalization on, which is kind of making it so that I can have it further away and it tries its best. But when it's close to your mouth, it kind of does its best, but without having to try. And yes. Nub says, no, start yelling. Tell him to get his shit together. I do my best. I do my best, okay? It's amazing that we can stream as long as we do for like 5 or 6 hours and then still make a video. I do need to increase the quality, like the amount of videos I upload, though. But yes. Like as says, let's not talk about price these days. Equivalent to salary. Yeah. Only when the bills, dude. It's, yeah, man. I don't know. It's brutal. It's brutal. But I will say, there is like things that I don't know if it's good or bad, but they're kind of like this stair-stepping stuff that kind of makes sense. So like theoretically, you could buy what is absolutely the cheapest, but is kind of the best. But to me, the thing that always catches me up, which is like, how much more is the better version of this thing? And also, will there be a point where I'll ever actually want to upgrade to that thing? And if both of those answers are yes, if the answer is a difference between like 60 or 40, I tend to just say, okay, no, the 64 is not too much that I would just buy the slightly more expensive one, especially if it has more stuff. And this one had opposed to 24-hour battery life, it had 72-hour battery life, and it had the best microphone ever opposed to an okay microphone. And it had good. The only thing that this thing doesn't have, which would be like the cream of the crop, the best fucking thing ever, is simultaneous Bluetooth pass-through. So you can plug a dongle into one source, aka a PC, and then you can get Bluetooth coming in from a different source. So you theoretically could like play a video game on your PlayStation, plug this USB in, it would basically start feeding audio into the thing, but then you could also like connect it to your phone and watch like a clip or something on your phone, or in my case, you could have two PCs, which you use, that would be really nice to have two audios coming in, because when we do certain things, like this is mainly designed to be my VR headset, I guess, but I'm not going to be able to use the audio coming in, because the audio has to go to my PC that records. It's a mess. But it's fine, because I never really, I don't know, the audio in Oculus is fine, so I don't really feel like I need the crazy crispy audio on that. In terms of like coming into your ears, the audio coming out of my mouth, I would hope to be good, because contrary to what a lot of people believe, a person would basically, if you have two options between having decent at one thing but less good in another, if you had the choice between audio being great or good, let's say, and then video quality being terrible, or if you had the option between video quality being okay but then audio being terrible, always go with audio being better, because if someone hears static and like hissing when you're speaking and it's grating, people won't last 5 seconds before like, I don't like this, and they'll click off. Whereas if you're covering something that's meaningful enough visually, then it doesn't matter if it's a little bit pixelated or blurry. Ideal, you have okay. You don't need 20p, 4K, etc. But you do need good enough, okay? And this is a little bit better than good enough. In fact, it's kind of way better than good enough. In fact, I think I have the best, live commentary audio in a 5-meter radius than most of the VR channels I watch. And they have like 100,000 subscribers, and they get like sponsorships all the time. And if they don't buy like a good ass microphone, I don't know. Anyways, only when like the rope says, fucking brutal, especially the electric bill and the damn heat. But yeah, man, heat. I'm not sure where you live, neck of the woods, like the rope, but man, in Canada, it's kind of pissing a lot of Canadians off a lot, because we keep having like cold as hell winters, and we keep having to like turn up our heat, and like it's like the grid and all that stuff is kind of like, no, hey, you should not. I'm like, we'll freeze to death. What are you talking about? They're like, yeah, just turn that down a little bit. And you're like, what the fuck, man? Especially, maybe again, I think there's like, it's a difference between Albertans versus the other bit of Canada, which Alberta is like one of the coldest capitals of the world. At least where I'm at, is really cold. And then there's like Toronto, which usually where a lot of choices get made, and holy fucking shit, is it just brutal. Yeah. All the choices get made there, and yet they produce like an eighth of the money. Anyways, it's a whole Canadian political bullshit. I don't get into that. But yes. Edmonton is great though. I will say that. Lycanthrope says, true, ideal sound. It sounds decent. Nice. Lycanthrope says, don't worry, you sound good. Thank you, Lycanthrope. Sounds rough. It doesn't. No, it actually could. It could significantly be worse. Significantly could be worse. But I am grateful for what we have. Let me put it that way. Audio is fine. Camera not synced with audio. Better. Seems to be synced now. It is synced. Good. I played the Stellar Blade demo today, and I had a is that the one with like the Japanese lady? It's like super like holy shit. Some smexy latex armor, kind of like Bayonetta, except a little bit less on the nose. Bayonetta was like, when I use my magic, my clothes can bust, and you're like, okay. All right, I'm not opposed to it. I just think it's a little on the nose. But yes. Yeah, what do you call it? Okay, so one of the things, man, I wanted to talk to you guys about is how much I have been enjoying Dragon's Dogma 2. It is such a fun game. I'm having such a good time every time I play. It feels refreshing. It is so fun, but at the same time, I have, like, it's not like what happened with Power World, which is interesting. For those guys who don't know, I usually had like a formula of like just grind out and try to think out a bunch of ideas for videos that could be helpful to people and then pursue those videos as soon as you possibly can. I never have early access to anything, so I just do the best I can with day one. And I try to provide as much help as possible, things like that. But for once, Power World came out and we played it on stream just on a whim, and then I loved the hell out of it, and I just played it for like nonstop for like 3 or 4 or 5 days even, just on my time. And I was shocked that by just doing that, by just playing a ton of a video game, you start to like not only to see the problems that you have and that other people would likely have, but then you start understanding how to solve those problems by yourself because no one's really doing it enough. I think Power was like the perfect example of like a game that had not enough people covering it, or at least not enough people covering it in the way that other games they're covered. Whereas I think Dragon's Dogma, I have no ideas because I think it's one of the worst examples. It's one of the best examples of like 7 different content creators got like 2 months to play it nonstop. So you're kind of like, what the fuck? And sometimes, you know, content creators sleep on their laurels, and they're just like basically like, fuck, I'll just make a review and that'll be it. You know. But then there's other people like RX, and if they ever get their teeth into something, it's like, fuck, they're just gonna grind out like XP farms, all these kinds of things, and just get crazy. So I'm kind of like, I don't know what else I could make, you know, besides streaming the shit out of it, which I think is actually quite fun, and I'll take care of us for a good bit. But I just don't want to get back into VR, so it's like I'm constantly just Also, did you guys see the new Oculus lesser Quest essentially? So they have like the Oculus Quest 3, which is that, yeah, and then they have another version of it. The other version, which is supposed to be like an entry model, I think that the Oculus Quest 3 is like $500. I think the entry model is gonna be either like $200 or $300. I imagine it's probably gonna be $280. But anyways, yeah, what do you call it? That it looks neat, the design of it. I don't think it's gonna be good. I don't think it's gonna have eye tracking or anything like that. So it's just, I think we're just gonna be in this weird purgatory of like, they're gonna produce a headset that gets you like an entry level thing that's gonna be probably there to mine out people who really enjoyed Apple Vision Pro. But eventually, I think what their goal is to then make like their version of Apple Vision Pro. But at least for me, it just makes it so that like in order for me to get everything I want from a VR headset, it's not gonna be in the one that's meant to be an entry level. They're not gonna put eye tracking in the fucking entry level one. So it's gonna be the third one that comes, which is the more expensive one. And I'm like, God damn it, man! I just want a VR headset with decent eye tracking and some like nice stuff around it. Looks nice, maybe a wider FOV, but like I'm not into the whole pass-through thing that much at all, man. Like I've seen zero instance in which I would want to use it yet. Yeah, man, I don't know. I think it's kind of neat, the notion of like, I don't know, I'm just not a person who likes to stand out as well. So if I'm putting on like a fucking big ass pair of goggles in the middle of like a subway section or some shit, that's too much for me, man. I'm embarrassed. I don't know who say I'm embarrassed. I just don't want to be noticed. Does that make sense? It's not like I'm like, I gotta appease everybody. It's more like just me like, I just don't want to be bothered. I just want to be left, leave me alone kind of thing. Lycanthrope says, it's same shit globally. Don't worry. Let's leave that for the news. Yes. That's why I don't turn a TV on except for when I play. Yeah, man. I mean, I really agree with that, man. I seen a person recently. I don't want to get too into the weeds. We won't. I'll just dabble a little bit. But I seen someone basically say, like, why aren't you speaking about insert issue? And like they said this to a streamer I watched. And man, there's things that are happening that you absolutely should talk about, and these are horrible things and etc. But man, I actually do that. I think all of us, maybe some extent, have like a source of something that like is maybe a YouTuber, is maybe a Twitter feed or something that is just like a little tiny window into the real world news, atrocities, things happening, etc. Just so we're not completely isolated. But surely, man, I can't, and I hate how everyone just tries to bleed it into every other thing. Like I just to me, man, I just need an escape. Ever since COVID in 2020, where news just became so fucking, I think it just became so glamour. What is the word? Like, there seems like there's a skewed value proposition on the fact that they report so much. How do I put it? Like I think the salaciousness of the despair in the world and all that stuff, and the fear and all those things are just things that make you click on an ad or click on a news site, and they just keep revving that up like 20-fold, man. Like I used to think it like basically news is like good news, and covering news and journalism is beautiful. It's like a worthy endeavor. You're trying to shine light on things that are corruption and all these things. And now, man, the more I look at it, the more I just see is like ads, like just ads. Like you don't really care about this. This is a non-issue type thing, and you're just trying to leverage as much as possible for me to click. It just seems like a business, and and then there's like this guides of like journalistic integrity, and I don't know. I'm not big into like the fake that. That's not what I'm saying. Fake news or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, it just feels like there's conflict of interests in a lot of these places across every conceivable board you could think of, and it's just exhausting. So to me, I would. This is a stream, just in case like people pop in and say that our streams are meant to just be a chill place to kind of hang out. If someone wants to ask me about something like that, I might talk about it just as like what I think if you're curious. But I don't want that to become the stream. You can go to many places where that is literally the whole thing. But for me, I just want to get away from the chaos of the world and have fun with my friends. It's basically the gist, and create like fun hosting environments for me, like hosting a fun little game night or a fun little idea I had that I thought we could do as a community, that kind of thing. Anyways, but yes, needless to say, a lot of that shit's happening all over the world, and it's just hard to think about. Like it says, I lost it. Oh, also you say hydrate. That's a good idea because I need some coffee. Like it says, I wish I could play VR, but I can't, and it ain't that I could not buy one. Our problem is that I get really dizzy, that I'm about to throw up after 1 hour. Okay, like you're the same as me, buddy. I have the worst severe motion sickness ever. I started just as you. I couldn't do. I did like I'm very stubborn though. I'm also very stubborn. I'm also very comfortable being uncomfortable. So for me, I get the same thing where I felt like deathly ill and like pukey when I first did VR. But then I just grunted through it because people said that you'll get over it. It's not that you necessarily get over it, especially if you're doing it like I did, which is like basically playing VR for an hour and then just getting super fucking dizzy, and then like you go back to VR and your brain remembers that this was the source of your pain, so it almost starts to like cold sweating, like don't do this again, don't do this again. What the best case scenario is for people who are like you or me who have motion sickness, it's to do just a little bit of VR, like maybe like 10-20 minutes. Give yourself a little bit of a break, like maybe 5 minutes, go on your phone for 10 minutes, then go back in and slowly start to like give positive feedback to your brain. And also, if possible, try to sit down, because standing and your body's trying to balance in a system that it doesn't really understand. So if you're sitting, it's less balance is required, so it's less fucky, I guess. But yeah, there's also like people have like a whole regimen, which I would highly advise if you type in like how to do VR. Also, as the technology gets better, it will get less terrible for you to actually do VR, because there's going to be better dissonance essentially between what's happening to you and then what's happening to your actual body and avatar. But I also, yeah, it's a lot. That's the hydration. Also, like a rope, in order to cash in those status points, you have to be here. I was just like to say that just in case people are wasting the points, because a lot of people are like, I don't got 2 hours, Grin. I'm like, I know. That's why I make it like that, so I don't have to do push-ups all the time. Your boy's 200 pounds around. Not quite. I'm like 180 to 200, something like that, around there. That's a lot of weight to move around, do push-ups, man. I made that damn status points when I was like fucking 170 or something. You'd be amazed how much 30 pounds can fuck up your push-up game. Okay. Like Thrope says, imagine I'm from Transylvania. Oh, that's so sick, man. That's such a unique place to be. I'm from like a no-name town. That's sick. Okay, so the Ukraine war is yeah. Okay, so maybe not so sick. Maybe not. Never mind. Oh, as I open the TV, I just see people. Yeah, man. Yeah. No, yeah. And you're like, yeah, man. Like again, to me, there has never been a better excuse to disconnect from how it's just. And I remember this back in the day where I remember there was a massive atrocity, like a crazy atrocity happening back in It was like in Africa. It was like the Tutsis versus something else, and it was just like the craziest death count you've ever heard of. But no one reported on it because maybe because of racism things, or maybe it was just because people don't want to constantly be bombarded by that. But ever since the pandemic and stuff, man, I feel like there has to be some person at the top who's like, yeah, fear is a powerful motivating force for people to click and to engage and to follow, etc. And I just noticed that like every horrifying thing is constantly in the front of you, forcibly almost in front of you, and I can't imagine someone who's able to just to completely be okay with that, you know. So I'm not only let me see, even so I'm not the only one and blurp, yeah. So what you plan for the future? A streamer and YouTube Activision, and you want to focus on... Ooh, okay, Lycanthrope. Sorry, guys. I haven't seen Lycanthrope in a long time. I'm trying to catch up real quick. Not real quick. We have a whole fucking 2 hours. But for me, what do you call Lycanthrope? I mean, maybe it's not a big deal to a lot of people, but for me, it's like one of the biggest. It's meaningful to me. It meant a lot to me. I know, I'm not sure if you know, but I started this VR channel. I had the goal of basically like only uploading the best videos I possibly could to that channel, and to basically try to learn as much as I possibly can about YouTube, so that I actually could maybe do this well to the point in which I could succeed, and not just kind of like hope that one thing works and then be terrified when the 5 other things after that don't work. So I want to just learn, try, like analyze, and get better in that way. Just become better. So I did that for like a whole year and a half almost. And then I was getting really annoyed because I was like, I was starting to get like 1,000 views on my videos and like 2,000 views on my videos, 5,000 in some cases, and stuff like that. But I just couldn't get my goddamn channel monetized. Also, thank you so much for the support. Like, I appreciate that. Very sweet. Thank you for tier 1, so I appreciate that. You didn't have to, but I appreciate it. Anyways. So I ended up basically like grinding that out, and I was annoyed because I wasn't getting. I was able to get like a ton of watch time, meaning people were able to actually watch, and they watched the majority of my video, and it was awesome. But I was just not able to get people to subscribe, and I think it's because the browse feature on YouTube has just gotten so good that most people don't subscribe anymore. They just kind of use their homepage as their subscriber feed. So it's annoying that when one of YouTube's requirements is to get enough subscribers and not get like enough views and then watch time, which would make more sense to me. Anyways, but I after like 3 months, and it like my channel was like hard locked at like 500 subscribers, just wouldn't move up anymore, and I was like, well, whatever, I'm just gonna keep having fun and trying to improve and make it. And I got one video last week that just doubled my subscriber count, so I got 500 subscribers, and then with that one video, immediately I got like almost 200. 600. So, and it's fucking hilarious because I went to my like, are you able to be monetized? Because that's this whole journey, is I'm trying to monetize this new VR channel. Anyways, eventually I went and looked to the tab that said like, you can monetize your channel, and usually it's like, you've gotten enough subscribers, but you don't have enough watch time. And immediately when I clicked on it, it said, you're good. Because we already had enough watch time. We had enough watch time for like fucking seven months. Killing me. Anyways, so I was finally able to get the channel monetized Lycanthrope, which maybe doesn't sound that crazy to anyone, but to me it kind of feels like, you know, like you can have a passion or an art, and you can love that art, and you can want to improve at that art so much, but there's something that becomes really real when somebody actually commissions you for your talent or for your skill or for the thing that you've been honing for such a long time. It always makes it real. It almost makes someone be like, I believe in you. I believe that you have the capacity to succeed. You've done enough to earn the chance to run, the chance to jump, the chance to have a place here. So, and to me, it also wasn't the same as my other channel when I got monetized. It was just like a, like I just kind of was, I just did VR, I just did YouTube Let's Plays for fun for such a long time, and I just happened to get like enough stuff over time, and I got monetized, and I was just like, okay, sure. But I didn't like really felt like I worked for it. I just kind of was doing this as a hobby, and it was fun, and I flipped on a switch, and it was there. This one, I had to work and get better at, and try again, just to kind of get better enough to do it, and I fucking did it. So to me, that was a big thing that happened in the last 7 months. It just happened last week. So I'm very happy with that. Again, maybe it doesn't mean a lot to anyone else, but if you're working for something for like almost a year and a half, and then you have some marker of being like, I did it. I took a step that I need to take in order to make this a thing. If we can have the channel monetized, that not only you could make money, which is nice. That's kind of something that's interesting to me, because we can just invest it back into the videos and stuff like that. Also, I could buy a better PC or better whatever, better camera. All that stuff doesn't really matter. It's mostly ideas. But anyways, the one thing that does matter to me, and I think it's really important, is the I heard that there was this thing that I don't know if it's true or not. I heard a lot of myths about YouTube about how like it's all about watch time, it's all about trends, it's all about all these stuff, and they're usually like a percentage of that is correct in a certain instance in which it is correct. But one thing that I have heard, which always made sense to me, but always made me, I wasn't sure about it, whereas I've disproven a lot of the things that I've heard around. But anyways, does YouTube not push your videos as much if they are not monetizable? Now, I do think there's a version of that is not true. So I do think like if you have one video that like pops off on Reddit, and if it just has enough momentum behind it, yes, it can accelerate and grow like crazy. But I also don't know, man. I also do think that there is probably something there to where YouTube is trying to like kind of skim off the chaff, if that makes any sense, like the kind of the upper part of it. I think they do, as soon as you are monetizable, then there is seemingly no reason why they wouldn't push you if you were doing really well. But yeah, we'll see. That's one thing that interests me, is maybe now that we're monetized, maybe maybe YouTube will slowly start pushing you more because you're kind of tried and tested. And so long as you're not like making fucking terrible content and demonetizing every video, then you're like, okay, this guy actually, maybe we can push him to more people because he's not trying to be hyper salacious and such, Lycanthrope says, it sounds great because you seem to put a lot of heart into this, and your thank you, and great thank you. Here for content you put out, and I hope you grow. Bigger is important to dedicate, not giving up on your dream, and important if is said thing keeps you alive. Yeah, man, I agree with that. Again, to me, it's one of the things that always gives me peace, and I deeply cherish. Which I almost fell into like kind of a depressive spiral of like almost 6 months ago. It always happens around my birthday. I'm not sure if you guys are the same way, but like whenever I have my birthday thing, it almost like the weight of a birthday to me is always just hard. Like I know I shouldn't say this to myself, but it's always like the warming thought that appears in my head, which is I'm insert age, and I haven't done this or that, or all I've done is this and that. And I haven't attained the goals and my dreams yet. I haven't done enough. All these things come kind of like rushing forward. It's a bad mind virus to have, but it appears every now and again. But the one thing that to me that helped me kind of pull myself out of that spiral, which I find myself getting, it's harder to kind of avoid. But what do you call it? It's basically that's not what life is. Life isn't about basically attainment. Life is about becoming. And I count my blessings because there's a video popped up in my sub feed from a creator that I quite adore, who talks about philosophy every now and again. And that's one of the things he talked about is the point of life is becoming. The point of life is not getting to a set point, but it's about, did you become a better person? The simple way to put it is, if you're ever in that state of like feeling inadequate or feeling like you should have been more, all that stuff, ask yourself, did I basically improve my character? Did I improve the content of my character? Did I become kinder? Did I learn more? Did I become better at my skill? Did I do all these things? Because those things are the things that actually matter. Those are the things that fill you. Those are the things that you could argue are your purpose or meaning, or your thing that makes you actually feel like life is worth living. You could imagine if you had a button that you could just attain everything you wanted. Don't get wrong, it'd be great for the first couple things you attain. I want $1 million. I want a beautiful wife. I want the XYZ things. But eventually, things would become meaningless. Absolutely. It is in the struggle and in the pain of attainment and the journey of becoming something that makes life meaningful. Not necessarily the pain, but just the effort that requires you to attain the thing, I think. But at least, yeah, that's my 2 cents. I can throw. Also, Fluff says on Twitch or on YouTube. Oh no, he was just making sure I was all synced up. Thank you, Fluff. Lone says I played the one game. Lone says yes, it is. It is it good, Lone? Was it very good? But what kind of gameplay is that stellar game you were talking about? Like Japanese, like Nier Automata kind of vibe. Also, what's good, Red? Lycanthrope says, I think everyone does it at their own speed. In life, what's important is not to rush, but instead to enjoy every minute. Yeah, to live in the present a little bit. Second, you have meaning. Don't worry about things coming when things are set. But yeah, I don't know why my Twitch is not scrolling properly. It's like it's... Yeah, why won't you scroll properly, Twitch? Hopefully it works. Yeah, I keep having to scroll all the way down. Enjoy every minute, and the second of that person you have meaning. Don't worry, things will come when things are set to be. Yeah, man, that's something that. Sorry, yeah. Basically, I think you're saying that like there's something to that I've heard from a lot of people, which is great. Which is like there's an importance in like the presence of what's happening right now in this current moment, which is really good. I forget what it's called. Mindfulness, I think is what it's called. But it's basically like not trying to like most anxiety and fear comes from the future, you predicting or trying to control the future, and things like that, which I could see being pretty toxic. And what was the last thing I heard that you said? Yeah. I think yeah. So it's basically just yeah. I think we're on the same page for sure. It's tough, man, because as much as you like, there is the right thing, but sometimes, man, your brain doesn't really care. Sometimes just shit just hurts. Sometimes shit just is annoying. You wish shit went better, etc. And that's kind of just like, again, I feel it's better to be like, it sucks. I wish it was better. I wish, if this feels unfair, but ultimately, get that out. But then you got to make a step forward. It's almost like I don't know. That's another thing I heard recently. I heard an interesting argument against therapy to some extent. And I'm a big person who I could totally see the value and the brilliance of therapy. Don't get that twisted. No, I get you, Lycanthrope. It's mostly my brain. It's also me it's hard to see. My eyes are kind of getting harder to see sometimes, but then they bounce back and they're normal. But anyways, I think Lycanthrope said something about it being like his third language. No, you're okay, buddy. I've always talked to you. Yeah. I was gonna say though, I heard this thing against therapy a little bit, which again, I want to probably pro therapy here, but it brought up the idea of, and I kind of agree with the sentiment, which is if you always study failure, you don't be surprised when you just become an expert about failure and how to fail. It's much more beneficial to focus on what you're doing well, what other people have done really well, learning from success and all these kind of things, rather than constantly beating yourself up for the one time you failed, or even just learning how everyone else failed, because oftentimes you inherit those problems. But anyways, the person this is a kind of jumping off of that is what I heard about the whole therapy maybe not being so good, is a lot of therapy, let's say bad therapy. A lot of bad therapy is you just basically recounting all of the horrible things that happened to you, just constantly. A good therapy is probably recounting what happened to you and then moving beyond it, moving past it, finding a way to kind of not let it define you and push through it, essentially. But the person was talking about this in a podcast I watched, where basically how a lot of therapy, bad therapists might be on that loop a little bit of like, okay, not only are we just going to basically sit in your despair and basically constantly build you up about, people are cruel to you, you shouldn't trust these people, no wonder you don't trust these people, how could this have happened to you, that's so terrible, how does that make you feel, oh, it makes you feel sad, why does it make you feel sad, okay, does this happen to you now, and there's never like, okay, now let's try to move beyond that, let's take those pieces and move forward, kind of thing. And then there could be like a really negative spin to this, which is maybe there's not a vested interest in you actually becoming fully better and developed. I like to think that most people are good, so I do think there's probably the majority of therapists or whatnot are probably trying to pick you up, build you back up, put you back out in the world, not keep you on an ever-ending cycle of that. But there's also, we can't deny that there's got to be some bad actors in the therapy setting. But anyways, yes, pro therapy, but I thought it was one of the interesting things I heard a couple of weeks ago where I was like, oh, I guess that could be true too. I guess that could be a little scary truth for sure. Like it says, don't forget to enjoy the moment. I think things past the future, basically enjoy the present. Yeah, ground yourself in the present. I find that one's difficult for me, man. As much as it's one of the same things where I heard something beforehand, which is talking about like how to activate certain muscle groups, and people always say flex in a certain way, and one of the things that just sets, there's always a word to me that, for me at least, maybe it's my lived experience, that just sets off my brain. I'm like, that was what I need, that was what you meant. Everyone says a lot of stuff and it's so broad. This is the North Star that could actually lead me home. And for the workout thing, it was basically try to find your stretch, essentially. So when you're coming back to do bench press and you're pulling back your chest, try to make sure you're still structurally safe, but try to really drive your elbow down to feel your whole scapula and not scapula, but your chest muscles open up. Same thing when you press, try to feel the back muscles that are driving forward, feel the stretch in those muscles too. And that can help hypertrophy and all those things. But in the same sense, when people say ground yourself in the present moment, or don't think about the future or the past, try to be grounded in the present. I get that, but it's too broad for my dumb brain. What really helps me is something that, to me, is the North Star in that instance, which is, again, what I just kind of talked about. It's it's about, are you improving the content of your character? Are you growing? Out of a consequence of the actions and the things that you did, are you improving who you are in some small way? That to me is much better, because I don't know if I want to become the kind of person, because I do notice some people who are very yogi, very very Buddhist monk, but they also do a ton of marijuana, and they're just kind of bummy. They just kind of don't do much, kind of have given up on life. I don't want that one. I want some parts of it, the peace maybe, but not the brother. I've checked out. I've 100% checked out. Okay, Lone says, I recorded some gameplay. If you want, I can send. Yeah, hit me with it. Do you have it already on YouTube? I'd love to put it in the background of the stream. I kind of was waiting. We watched this 5 times. I want Ray to get in here because I want to, to ask him about the goddamn Withering Waves, because I want to know if he's excited for it. Because he's mega into these gacha games. Lone is in, but I think Ray is more in. Well, with the exception to Nikita, for sure, for Lone. Lone says, I found the perfect armor so far for my character in Dragon's Dogma. What it looks like, Lone? What does it look like? For those of you guys who don't know, man, it has been a nightmare trying to find the right armor set for goddamn Dragon's Dogma. If it wasn't, Red is like a, what is it, Sarzalar Slytherin? What, I can't speak. It's a goddamn, he's like a little demon on my shoulder who's like, hey, Grin, yeah, there's a mod for that. I could tell you how to do it, and it's just something in my head that's I want to try to have there's a point in my head where I'm fuck it, let's mod it. That's basically how I think about it. But it's fuck it, let's mod it. It's not let's mod it. It's wait, I have to get to a point where I'm basically all right, fuck it. And I haven't gotten to that point yet. But Ray keeps being there's a cool little bot that lets you have infinite spells on your character, and I'm so you can basically chain between 6 different types, etc. And I'm that looks sick as hell. And he's hey, by the way, you can just take off the ability for you to wear any armor without having to specialize into what's the goddamn name, the archer, the warfare. And I'm Not yet. I want to try to do a little more. I did find out this though. If anyone's playing Dragon's Dogma right now, also like, are you playing Dragon's Dogma? If you're not, you should fucking play that game. It's amazing. It's a little bit of a grind, but it's like a little bit rough. It's a little bit hard to dense. It's hard to push through some instances, but as soon as you do, you'll be happy you did. If you are playing Dragon's Dogma and you are trying to level up your gear to like +3 or something like that, a lot of the end/mid-ish game armor requires you to have beaten the game. I spent like 20 minutes farming, not like 20, like maybe an hour and a half farming the chimeras basically, when only for me to find out that you have to complete the coronation ceremony. I imagine that with the whole kingdom thing. I imagine that's that. Regardless, it sounds like it's an ending fun game. You have to get to the end of the game or one of the endings until you can then get the one guy to spawn. The big dragon things to spawn. So, shit. Ass. But yeah. So if I was kind of annoyed because I wanted to upgrade my gear, but I don't think I really can. At least not the mace that I found and stuff like that. I can only level it up once, which I think was what Fluff is probably talking about, his plight about like basically having like trying to level up his armor and whatnot. It's like almost impossible to do until you beat the game. It seems like because basically you're trying to, when you beat the game, a lot of the enemies you're fighting get a new. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's like a new variant. Let's just say, which makes sense. It's like, yeah, it's probably trying to make things hard for you. Anyways, Lycanthrope says, don't, oh, right, read that. Sorry, I know, I got that. Lycanthrope says, you just keep scratching, what? You just keep scratching with a nail, in a bed with a therapy true. Yeah, man. Yeah, okay, yeah, I see that. Yeah. The whole therapy, again, is that I don't think therapy could be good. I think therapy is really good for, like, actually, again, there's a guy named Dr. K who I think is like a really good version of that. Some people are kind of a little annoyed because he's doing the social media thing too well, to where he's kind of everywhere. People are like, I just don't want to see him anymore. But yeah, I think that version is pretty nice, where it seems like it's more about like, it's a therapy that constantly forces you to be empowered to basically push beyond your trauma or whatever has happened to you, to like kind of take ownership and try to drive forward. To me, is a beautiful thing. But then I notice a lot of other therapy is like, man, I feel like you're just steeping in your despair a lot. Like, I don't think you're getting better either. Like, maybe you're getting more like slightly at peace, but I don't know. And it's hard to tell because like if someone's feeling something, if someone's able to feel a little bit less shit, then by far go by all means, bob off, do good. But yeah. Lycanthrope says, so you want to focus and dedicate your channel for... Okay, no, so yeah, you asked me the question of what the plans are for the future, Lycanthrope. So basically, I've always had this like streaming channel for my YouTube. It's like my old channel. It's just named GRINN. It's basically where we stream. So that's our streaming channel, and kind of whatever else I want to put on there. But for I have another channel which I wanted to make because it's significantly easier for YouTube to kind of put you in a place if it knows what kind of content you make. So if I was uploading like VR content on a channel, and then I upload like Grand Theft Auto content, and then I upload like Baldur's Gate content, YouTube is gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? And it's gonna get very confused. Whereas if you are doing one type of content, YouTube is very much like, oh, okay, he's doing this type of content. If you like this kind of content, VR stuff, shooter VR stuff, all kind of stuff, they'll have a better, easier understanding of like, okay, these two things correlate. Let's push those two things. Good. Whereas if I didn't do that, it wouldn't be so good. So my plans basically, now that my channel is monetized, is to just try to continue to be improving on VR. And we had a shocking little bit of success with Power World. I just wanted to make like 2 videos because I was stuck on some stuff, and that's going to be our most viewed video on the GRINN channel. So I want to try to do more Power World stuff, but it's not like it's updating very quickly. It's not like, it seems like it's a very hard game to keep covering. Granted, I think I could dip into mods, but it's tough because I kind of felt a little guilty doing so much Power World content, because I did say we would do like double uploads on the VR channel, but now it's not really working out in that way, because I was also making content on our on Power World. So it's kind of tough. But my plans for the future, man, are basically to try to keep improving at VR. I have a whole regiment that I kind of try to keep up with, and then what do you call it? The second thing is to try to drive into continue to do streaming basically, but mainly my focus is on trying to build up the VR channel to as much as I can, and we'll see. I'll send it to you in the Discord. Okay, let me know what it's sent. Alone. It's sent. Okay, good. I'll look it up in just a minute. I just don't want to lose chat. Red says mods make things better 99% of the time. I agree, but I'm also a little worried, Red, because I don't know what the what the user agreement is. Like, I don't know if by me activating certain mods, am I going to get shoehorned out of certain DLC content or updates or whatever, you know? I'm sure it's not that crazy, because I'm sure it's just changed. I don't think it's a game that's a server, so I think you're like technically it's all on board stuff, but yeah. Fluff says, been quiet as I've been doing the fruit the fruit farm. Yeah, man, that's one of those farms that just takes just enough thought that you can't quite balance two things at once. But yeah. I also thank you so much, Fluff, by the way, for showing me that. I didn't know that you could basically go to and from. If you didn't know about that alone, Fluff showed me a thing where it's the same process of you grabbing like expensive, cheap fruit in one area, then going to another area and selling it at a higher price because it's just more expensive because it's rare in that area. But you, instead of basically going back, you basically go and buy up the fruit in that other area too, which seems a little more complicated, but I think it is also more money. I think the fruit over there is like $500 opposed to $300. So when the one fruit's fully ripened, it does turn into a little bit more money. Although I don't know if it does. I think you can only buy mangoes, whereas the other one you can get 2 sets of 2, or I get 4 sets, I guess, in total. Whereas the other one I think you're only able to get 2, I think. So it probably evens out probably. Fluff says, but I will note the audio has been out of sync for a while. You had fixed it earlier, but alas, hopefully you can iron it out for the future. Is it still out? The audio is not out of sync for me. I'll refer. Yeah, I was about to say. I'd say we fixed it at the very beginning, and hopefully everyone was saying it was pretty good now. Yikes. I'm sure I need to nail it. Like, I'm sure that is just a little bit off, but like 2 seconds, as long as my mouth is moving when the words are coming out, it's good, but I'll make it better. I refreshed it and the audio is still out of sync. Oh no. Seems to have resynced. Okay, good. Okay, resynced. Lycanthrope says, I can't afford Dragon's Dogma because $1 equals 5 of them. Oh, yeah, okay, I see, that makes sense. So imagine you buy a game and it's 5 times more. Just steal it. Just steal it, Lycanthrope. 5 times more. I never buy games at full price. Alas, Dragon's Dogma is not really down my... Yeah, that's true. It's not you're a stalker. Sorry, maybe you'll be a more interested stalker. I'm more the type of Metal Gear or Stalker game. I'm not sure that Stalker game's ever going to come out, man. It's one of those... It's fucking annoying. Yeah, I know it's in purgatory hell, and that's always scary because you wonder what games would be. Oftentimes when a game has been like delayed so much, like as much as Stalker or honestly Dead Island was, I'm always worried that what we got was not the ambition fully realized. It was kind of like cut off and been like, let's make it work, please. Also, Dragon's Dogma is right now everything. The future after Stalker Heart of Chernobyl comes out. Will you be tinkering? I will probably give it a try. I'm not. I don't know. I will definitely give it a try, but I don't. It's tough, man. Because like to me, I don't really love like the ball crushing. I don't know. We'll see. I tend to think I don't like those types of games, but I've been surprised. You know, like some people would argue that Dragon's Dogma is a little bit more. It's not difficult. It's just like there's a little bit more density to some of the things you have to do. So like there's a lot of games have like 0 density, where it's just like, no, you can do whatever you want and you can teleport wherever you want and you can get weapons and nothing's really difficult. You can always just drop the difficulty, etc. But the density of how to kind of have to move through certain things, certain people could just get annoyed and say, I'm out. I'm done. Stalker was affected because the studio, yeah, it was in Ukraine. But I thought even before that it was delayed twice. Before that, I thought it was still delayed. It was supposed to come out like a year later. I think the ambition kept growing for the game, and then that didn't help. For sure, I agree with that. But I thought it was delayed twice before that. Let me go. Let me pull up that gameplay that alone. Look at this, guys. I can walk around completely, and you can still hear me. Oh my body, oh my body, oh my spine. Dude, I'm a broken man. Let's do is it this. All right, what are we looking at? Oh, also, gang, I think, yeah, that's why everything looks a little fucking stupid. Sorry. I didn't turn off their green screen. I'm sure that's not the worst, but sometimes it can be pretty bad. All right, let's go pause this. Where is the Discord? Did Lone, there is Lone thing. Ooh, Lone put up some gameplay on YouTube. Let's do it. Boom, pause. God damn. Don't get age restricted. Don't get age restricted. Don't get age restricted. Please. Let me loop this. Lone, you devious bastard. With this opening shot. This is a game that's coming out. You cannot tell me that it's not made by the same guy that made Bayonetta, even though... Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. This is going to be Red's favorite game. I just have a feeling. I feel like it's the same taste that he has. I don't really like it. I don't like the doll-like faces. It's a weird thing for me. It stands out in a weird way. Oh. Oh, there are two types of fruits in the region. Well, shit. Never mind then. This is just absolutely best. Great. Red says, which is why I'm not installing mods like things that increase augmented stats. I'll use mods that change things like that when I do no longer care about the online aspect. Yeah, okay, maybe that's it. I didn't know you also had that kind of pretext, and then maybe I will download some of these mods. We shall see. I do second. I want to experience what the kind of end game grind is, just so I know I have a template of what that is. Now, I would love this game, says Red, but it is PS5 only. I feel like we're on the brink. Give it 2 more years, guys. I think that's not gonna be a thing anymore. I think PlayStation's finally gonna be like, you know, why are we doing this when we can just make more money? Oh, my neck is itchy. But yes. She looks so. Red looks so sad. He's just like, but it's on PS4. Damn it. It's probably a time exclusive. Yeah, that's what there's nothing about this game that looks like it's a PS5 exclusive. You know what I mean? It looks like it is a timed exclusive. Although, man, I also think the time exclusives are kind of like I think they like reduce this overall sales of a something by like 50%. You know, because I just feel like there's such a thing to like the chaotic time of something being really present in the current moment. You know. Like it says, that's the game that you really looking. Oh, sorry. What's the game that you're really looking forward to? You don't have to apologize. I got that. That I'm really looking forward to play this year. Oh man, I'm always so bad at these questions because I just don't have a good I don't have a long-term memory. I always kind of like fluff and everyone else to be like, "Are you excited for this game coming out?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I didn't know it was coming out yet. I thought it was like a week, a month away, year away. My most anticipated game of the last decade has been Fable, the new Fable game, even though I'm terrified. Even though I wasn't terrified at first, but then I seen that they were doing like weird Zoomer humor with weird other British people, and yeah, I'm just terrified it's not going to be the game I want it to be. Anyways, if you guys know, Fable's also my favorite game, so that's why I'm like... but I probably would love it because I just love them all. As long as it's got Albion and some good cheeky humor and some banger as hell music box soundtracks, I'm probably gonna be happy. So maybe sprinkle some good and bad and great choices, because that'd be great if there was a new version of choice where like there's a gray area. And also if you could give me some of that good old classic Albion humor, like you could maybe do like this new little gypsy kind of magical enclave of like Zoomers that are like all these British people that are cute in that way for the new generation, but can we still have our OG Albion where it's just like old people's humor, like the classic kind of like hard thing. Anyways, I'm excited for that. As far as VR content, man, there's one game that I'm so excited for that I can't think of what it's called. Honestly, a lot of the games I'm most excited for nowadays are VR, with the exception to like Dragon's Dogma and things like that. But man, I don't know about you, but I think this is probably one of the best years we've had. It's only been like 3 or 4 or 5 months. It's for the goddamn thing. I'm so we've had Power World, we've had the finals. What was the game before? There was another game in the midst of that I also thought was great. No, I don't think it was Hi-Fi Rush, but it was the finals. It was Power World. We have Dragon's Dogma now, which I adore. We also have Helldivers. Like, it's just, to me, it's been a really, really incredible year for gaming, where I feel like the last 3, with exceptions of like some big hitters, like God of War was really impactful and amazing, but it just didn't feel like, yeah, like I remember the first 3 games or 4 or 5 games that came out this year because they were so good. And we were already starting off really strong. I don't think the VR game was Metro VR, essentially. I don't think that was it, but maybe. No, sorry. Fluff says, it's probably a timed exclusive. Where do I buy the fruit in Bakata? I'm looking into it now. Okay. Lone says, also, I apologize for the below average. No, it's all good, Lone. I just wanted to see the gameplay. I'm happy you're showing it to us. Don't say that. I'm grateful that I even be able to see them in the gameplay. I will say, it does have that weird kind of style of like, yeah. Like, to me, whenever I see gameplay like this, it just makes me want more of like a Bayonetta versus like a Devil May Cry kind of gameplay, where just when it feels like it's locked on, it feels like it's. I mean, this is the boss fight, so that's also something that we got to consider. But it feels very a little bit near Automata, but more locked on. Does that make sense? Yeah. I did hear people say that the blocking, like it's a very good like difficulty oriented game where there's like skill based blocking and you got to kind of parry certain things, and yeah. What about you? What is your most anticipated game? Yeah, to me, I would say mine is Fable. It has to be Fable. I don't know if it's coming out this year. Probably not, but it is easily my most excited. I'm more excited for Fable than I am Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls 2 or whatever it is. 5, whatever it is. Apparently Elder Scrolls is in development though, it's in a playable state. I've seen that as what is it called, a title in a video. I'm not sure if it's what it really meant. I didn't watch the video, but yeah. Red says, and also the female character in Fable, a trailer. Oof, I mean, we don't know. We could customize our character. She could look beautiful. You can always put on a helmet in Fables, kind of sometimes a little bit. Yeah, well, I'm hoping that like the cheeky British humor that's from our cheekiest British humor, not the new zoomery cheeky zoomer humor kind of thing. Fluff says, sadly we live in an era where British humor has developed into telling Doctor Who was better when he was a woman. Kind of humor, yeah, maybe. Fluff says, while also berating the same Doctor for not understanding the gender identity. Jeez, yeah. I hope that's not it. I hope it's more of like my biggest thing is that there's certain things that make Fable. As much as humor is a big thing of it, it's also just like I really hope they don't like completely abandon the real crazy freak shit that was Peter Molyneux. There was this madman who was like had such weird galactic ideas. Again, the idea is like karma. Like every choice you make can affect your character's appearance, and also like, can you guys imagine? Like I don't think people recognize how incredible Fable is as far as that. How many games today, or even at any point in the last like 10, let's say 20 years outside of Fable, outside of Black and White, who have a system where you not only make choices, it's a novelty nowadays, it's always the illusion of choice. You can make choices, and those choices actually have consequences with you in the world. Like this character's going to be dead, or this character is going to be going to like you, or whatever. People are going to love you, people are going to hate you. A dynamic world that actually can like either love you or hate you. The only thing that comes to mind is Infamous. But even then, not so much. But anyways, also, your character fundamentally looks like crazy. Like he's different. They have to like code in evolving character traits within your whole fucking look. Like, I hope they don't abandon things like that, which are like dynamically evolving things in the world. Or when you make a choice or when you do an action, that can make a big consequence for you doing XYZ action, you know? I hope they embody that better. Baldur's Gate is a great example. Yeah, Baldur's Gate is one of the last ones. But I also think if you take out Baldur's Gate, we would have had like a good 4 or 5 years, 6 years, 7 years of like games that just never did that anymore. You know? There was also something else I thought was so crucial to Fable that I forgot what it was. Mass Effect is kind of an example. Mass Effect, your character kind of physically changed. Like he had some weird eyes and like kind of cracky skin. But not quite like, yeah, I wouldn't say it's really like an evolving character as much. Choices, the impactful choices kind of, yes. Yeah, I'd say Mass Effect does the impactful choices. Also, Witcher does the impactful choices. I'm more, like, to me, the evolving character and that kind of stuff, to me, is what I really love. Like, it's just, to me, your choices kind of mean nothing. It's all really selfish. Like it's not like, I mean, do you really care if you saved Timmy in the well and his sister said thank you so much, or you said, Timmy wanted to run away, so then he ran away, and then his sister's sad? Like, do you care? It doesn't affect you at all. What really cares is, oh my god, I did a good action, and now my fucking skin's glowing. Holy shit, I did this action, now my eyes are red. Holy shit, I did this action, and I got like a dope as hell a sword that's like evil, even though I'm good. And it does more damage the more evil actions you do. So now there's an intrinsic value to me wanting to be more evil. Things like that are things that are like, oh fuck, okay. I feel like people misunderstand like what I think people really want from choice in video games. It's kind of cool when you have like a meaningful effect on some things, but also, I don't know, to me it also stresses me out. It's like, oh fuck, they're gonna come back to bite me in the ass in a couple minutes. Ugh. Lycanthrope says for his game he's most excited for, mine has to be Stalker. Yeah. And what's this? Stellar Blade. What's that? Is that this? What's Stellar Blade? That sounds familiar. Is it this? Because what we're looking at. Lycanthrope says another one was Pacific Dive. I think I've heard about that before, but it is already launched. I'm playing that actually now, and it's about. Is that the one where like you just have a car and you're driving? It's like in a first person thing. You're like basically upgrading your shitty mobile, but you actually like create like you put alien tech in it and it looks more and more like Ghostbusters and shit. Is that what I'm thinking of? I'm maybe thinking about that. I think it's Pacific Drive. I think that's what it is. Highly recommend it if that's what I'm thinking of. It looks really unique at the very least. It looks like a very unique experience. Stellar Blade is actually by the people who made Nikita's. Oh, that makes some more sense. It would either be Bayonetta or Nikita guy. I also think that adds up. Red says, I fucking love Doctor Who when I first started watching it back in 2005, but damn, that show sucks now. They utterly disgraced it. What do you go? I never got personally into it, but a show that I adored. I'm not sure if you guys are the same way, but it's a show called Dirk Gently on Netflix. It's super weird, like freakishly weird in a good way. It was made by a guy who got canceled bad, even though he was just kind of at the time pretty bad, but kind of like a bad human, but not like a reprehensible evil human. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was. I told people how much I loved it, and they're like, "You should watch Doctor Who." And I'm like, I see clips, and it looks like it's a good soft watch. Does that make sense? It's like kind of like soft watch. It's like kind of like certain anime are like soft watches where we know they're not going to be like the most riveting, like super mindful, exciting things ever. But it's just a good sit down. It's kind of like the Friends, a little bit like Friends. It's like a soft watch. The Office, it's like a soft watch. Something you have in the background you can enjoy. A little kind of cute little humor every now and again. But it's not something that's like, holy shit, here we go. We're popping off. We're doing this. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to hit the mic. In fact, I think I want to... Guys, we're going to go quiet for a bit. I got to take out my hoodie. Oh. Just like that. Can you still hear me, or is the noise canceling that good? I think it's that good, unfortunately. It makes me sound like I'm a baby trapped in a well, a million miles away, screaming at you, trying to get your attention. Why did I take off my hoodie like this? What is wrong with me? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I wonder if I can do this. No, it just hurts my neck. We'll do that. We'll leave it like that. Oh! I screamed right in your ear. I apologize. Oh, okay. I can pull these down a little bit more. I think I'm at the very taut part of it, yeah. I realize when people don't wear these on their neck, it's kind of like, you wouldn't think it'd be heavy a little bit on your neck. Yeah, it is. Mass Effect technically had a good moral system, but yes, Baldur's Gate 3 has loads of real choices and consequences. Yeah. Baldur's Gate kind of puts it to a scary degree, though. I think my ideal, what I would want, man, is I would love, and I don't even know how they would do it, but I would love a mixture of a Fable, and then almost like a mixture of black and white. Because I love, that's one of the things I found out about like Balworld is I really love like base building. I like that feeling, but I don't like the complete and utter, like you're just limited, like you have to play. But then there's some games that do weird where it's like half half base building, top down, Civ kind of gameplay, and then it's like you can kind of jump into an avatar and play them a little bit. That's not what I want. I want something where like 90% of the gameplay is you, what do you call it, being a hero in a world trying to do stuff, and then you have like the kingdom builder mode where you can like set up stuff, and then you can like then walk around in your like actual place in a POV angle would do it. That'd be so cool. Like it says, Yakuza like a dragon, the new, what do you call it? Fluff is banging his way through some of those Yakuza games. I'm not sure how much distance he's actually made, but yes, I hear nothing but good things. Red says, I only play a good guy playthrough. I mean, I know, right? Same way, man. Right? I can't do the evil one. It makes me feel bad. I've loved Fable so much. I don't think I've ever made a full evil playthrough ever. I've tried like 5 times. Fluff says, having difficulty finding Fig's vendor might not be in the location of that one, but there may be a wandering merchant that does. Oh, okay. So maybe it's just a little more tricky that way. Okay. Otherwise, both are pretty numerous throughout the thing. Vocation Island. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if maybe there's a better spot to like actually set up your camp, like at a little town that has both. Speaking of anime, I finished the Nier Auto. Is it good? Is it exactly like the game, or no? Did they add more like depth? I've been hearing nothing but good things from Solo Leveling. And apparently, they just announced that the second season is going to be coming out in October, so it's still there's like 2 seasons this year, which is crazy. So not as effective, but you can gather up as many as you can and then sell them when you return to the one place. Yeah, that'd be huge. Red says, I think the only game I've looked forward to this year is Black Myth. That's a good. See, that's what I mean. Everyone, it takes one of you guys being like, I'm excited for this, and I'm like, oh right, I forgot about that banger where we got waiting for us. That's gonna be so huge. I can't wait, man. Yeah, that's one of those ones I hope. I have a feeling it's going to be great. I just don't know if it's going to be like have enough depth. Like, I don't know why, man, but ever since playing Elden Ring, that's what I want. Basically, not even just like the easiness of it, like the game is clearly made for be more open, but just having like I just love FromSoft and an open world. I don't love FromSoft's like labyrinth is like weird. Go up, go down, come back, kick a ladder down. Now you can go up here, I guess. You have this one side area. I much prefer like just a big open area where they're like, this is this area, this is that area, this part's over here. I like that kind of overall bigness to it, and I hope Wukong has some moments like that. I just hope the game is long enough, basically, is what I'm saying. I have a feeling that we're probably going to be playing, and then like, oh, it's over. And yeah. I think the only game I'm holding. Fluff says EDF6 is probably the only other upcoming game I'm anticipating. EDF6. What is that, Fluff? But I'll be honest, man. Like this again. This is why I say like this year has been so good for gaming. I honestly, man, I feel like this year. I didn't expect any of the games I've loved so much to exist and for me to like them so much. Like, I didn't expect I would like the finals, really. I heard people talk about it. I seen some gameplay. It looked cool. I didn't think I would enjoy... I thought I would enjoy Dragon's Dogma. I didn't think I would enjoy it this much. I'm really enjoying it. I didn't. Power World came out of nowhere. I didn't even have a chance to really develop an opinion of it. That's not true. We did. We had an opinion of it. It was kind of like it looked like a weird Steam asset flow game. But oh my god, was it not that? It was that at some point, but it's not the one we got. Lycanthrope says, I think Enshrouded did way better than Power World. That's just me. Oh, what do you mean? What do you call it? Yeah, okay. My brother told me about that. Is that Fluff? Is Enshrouded that game you were telling me about? I also don't think they're the same thing. Does Enshrouded have like summoning, where like you can capture beasts and then use them? I thought Enshrouded was more of like a dwarven kind of builder kind of game. I always found it weird that people compared them. If it is the game I'm thinking of. My brother has talked about Enshrouded being really good. He also said that he played a Nightingale, and he said it was okay. He said it was not. It had potential. It has potential. If they're able to actualize what's there, it could be good. It was okay. Yeah. That game looked like it wasn't. It looked like it was more of a, instead of it being like the mixture of Pokemon with just some like fun Ark Survival Evolved type vibe. We had another one that I thought was really pertinent to what it kind of was like. I thought this one seemed like Ark Survival Evolved meets more like a FromSoft kind of fighting vibe. Is that right? I thought that's what that Shadow was more or less. Lone says, our Nier Automata anime. The anime has its similarities to the game, but also it's different. Okay. Huh. That makes sense. Red says, speaking of anime, I've been watching Berserk. Ugh. Is it the new one? I know they said they were going to redo it. I just don't know if they've actually fully, like they have been. They did. Why is it stabbing into me? What's this? Oh, it's the metal bit. That's what's going on. What if I do that? Maybe that'll be better. Lycanthrope says, I would say it's a good year also because games also launched, finally take advantage of the new console power and new PCs 3 years later, but I think COVID and what now interfered with all of the working of all these great games. Yeah. Well, man, that's something that I wanted to talk to you guys about, but I keep forgetting to mention. But yeah, exactly that. I was gonna say, it felt like for such a long time we were getting games that felt like they were stuck in time, and then finally, like Power World being able to have like so many NPCs moving at once, being able to have like a big ass map fully loaded. What was it again? Dragon's Dogma. Even though it's its performance is kind of variable, the fact that we're fighting these massive beasts and there's like hawks falling down on you. They have 4 or 5 players on screen that are all attacking this thing at once. It all works. Sometimes, most of the time, is incredible. Yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 is not. Let's not forget. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is one of the ones that I think is. There has been no game that I have wanted more, but just not in the lens of that game. I do not want the gameplay of me looking down at people and then like, you get a turn. You just punched me in my face. Now I get a turn. I scream in agony. Move over there. And then you get a turn. You throw a boulder at my face. Great. I just hate it. I hate that. Like then me. I hate it. I hate it so much. I want to donkey punch you in the face and then run behind a wall and then throw a grenade at my feet and then keep running. By the time you get to around the corner, bang! I want the reactive, like in split-second decision kind of gameplay. But I want the choice, and I want the romance, and I want the goofiness, and I want the openness of the crazy things. Oh. I hope I don't know. I heard someone say that they were like Baldur's Gate devs were working with another dev that I'm hoping is that, we'll see. Also read, how is the Berserk anime? Fluff says each Earth Defense Force 6. Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. It's like Helldivers, yeah, but more of Japan and and more crazy. Yeah, crazy humor, etc. Fluff says it's just got a big update the other day. It's more like Valheim. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of it. But it's a really solid sandbox RPG with building. It doesn't have like the whole like. Yeah, I guess maybe that's what Lycanthrope was meaning. Maybe Lycanthrope was more meaning like. As far as like survival games, this is the one I prefer. I think it's better. But to me, I don't know. It's tough because I don't think they're like Power World's like. I just want you to have a cozy time. Just a fun little cozy time and to capture some cool pals. That's it. Just capture some animals. Be a summoner, basically. Be a tamer, I mean. And I know the other game I think is like, no, fuck up shit. Go nuts. Yeah, that's what Fluff was saying. It was a Fable in Valheim. Which again, he's throwing that Fable in there. I'm not sure if it's actually Fable-y, but he's making it feel like it is, and it makes me want to go and play it. But I don't know if it actually is going to be that enough of Fable to make me be like, oh. Love says it reminds me of Fable 1 and Valheim, and with really good voxel building system, fixable class system, and stronger co-op play than something like Power. Yeah. I just don't think, again, I just don't think Power World's trying to do that at all. I think Power World's main thing is like, let me just make Pokemon And yeah, and like for the people who want Pokemon, people who like play Pokemon a ton, I think want like a cozy game. Same people who play like Stardew Valley, or something Island. What is it called? But yeah, similar to those kinds of games. So I don't think it's trying to be anything but that. So it's weird, you know. I don't think like they're like the end goal is not the same for either of them. I don't think. Like I wouldn't imagine that would be the one game we're talking about, the one that's similar to Valheim and Fable. Yeah. Red says, no, I'm watching the original. I thought the original anime was terrible. I thought people hated the original anime. There's a new one getting, that's got greenlit. They're going to redo Berserk with like modern day animation. But I remember like it's one of the biggest memes in the anime community is how bad the Berserk anime is. But it's like, if you're enjoying it, then Red, then pop off, King. I'm just saying, it's just one of the things I'm surprised to hear. Ugh. Fluff says Enshrouded is very minimal survival game. It's more of an open world ARPG with building. That sounds enjoyable. Fluff says it doesn't have Fable morality, just reminiscent of the combat system. Oh, okay. I love that too, though. Fluff says Palworld is the best sort of automatic survival game. I'll always prefer it over things like, oh yeah. It's so nice having helpers. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. I know there's like Conan Exile, but they're like they lean way too much into like you have slaves. You're like you can whip them. And I'm like okay. This is a bit much. You can also kill them, and you can also eat them. You're like, what is going on? Okay, like I didn't want to recede to caveman this much. Okay, we can just kind of come back a little bit. Why not do like AI? And even then, maybe we could like become connected. We don't have to be enemies or subservient to each other. Lycanthrope says, though I think, so Baldur's Gate 3. Let's not forget that. Though I think. I specifically target for me is not taste, but I've seen some of those. They're like the one thing. Yeah, this whole like back and forth things is. Oh wait, sorry, is that what you're saying? I thought you're saying that it's not normally the back and forth. The Baldur's Gate would also not be your cup of cup of tea, but it actually did work out. In terms of it just being good enough to where like yeah, even if you don't like it, you probably will still like it. Lycanthrope says, "Oh, I just remember. What do you feel? How do you feel about the Fallout TV series coming this year?" I don't feel much of anything, man. Like even the Borderlands movie, I'm kind of like, yeah, but will I go see it in theaters? No. Will I go watch it day one? No, I'll probably wait for like 5 episodes to be out and then be like, oh, is it good? Have you guys watched it? Is it worth it? No? Is it kind of worth it? Maybe. Okay, I watched the first 2 episodes. I watched 7 episodes, but I couldn't finish the rest. But with the 7 that I watched were fine. Is usually how it goes. You know what I mean? As far as the Fallout one, man, I just have yet to see any show that elevates what a series is. You know what I mean? Like that's something that bothers me a lot, and I hate. Like to me, if I told you to make a story in like one of the things that to me is the easiest alley-oop ever, but no one does it. There's 2 that come to mind. If I was like, hey, like this great example is the one that just came out with the Avatar The Last Airbender kind of thing. Instead of going in and like making a TV series about a completely different, like the same story that was already written and then just recounting everything that you did, why not use, oh my God, dude, you have a world of magic. Why not just go tell another story in the Avatar universe, like 500 after or 500 before, from another version of the Avatar, essentially, and then just create a dynamic story that pulls at the same heartstrings that the first story did, but with different characters. Maybe you can apply just a little bit of different stuff in there, but try to make the first 2 episodes really connected and grounded to the same reasons why we loved Aang and the same reason why we loved Korra. Like those are the things. Instead of like making something and then just being like, it's like, look, there's Master Chief. Master Chief's in the show. Guess what? If you put Master Chief in the show and he's not a god, everyone's gonna be pissed because he's not fucking. We think of this character as a god. He's our guy. We don't want to see him be anything like a bitch and all. We want him to be crazy. And even then, it feels cheap. Why are we watching? Why are we, if he does appear on screen and we have like a side character that's the main character, why I don't want to see him. I want to see Master Chief. So you just lose it. Like, I know there's like this weird homage to like Master. You could do that. You can have like a fucking, you can like have the whole series. And you realize that the main character is kind of a bad bitch, okay? And then you have a moment that's like, oh shit. In episode 7, she's like, hey, this guy or this girl who's like a pretty badass Spartan that's like slowly starting to become a Spartan, turns out she's trained by Chief. She has an audio log by Chief who was like, guess what? Here's your training regimen. Do this. I have an important task for you. Some shit. There's ways to kind of make it so that you dipping into the current thing without making it gross, you know? Anyways. The other thing that I thought would be great is I would love to see a Harry Potter spin-off. I would love to see like there's like a fucking 5 different types of magic schools. Why not go to like the US school that does like hand magic or some shit, and then just like have the same formula, 3 friends, they could be whatever you want, and yes, have them same thing, create in scenarios and instances where they actually enjoy to be around each other and they become better friends. Maybe they're different and they're weird at first, but then they kind of assimilate and they're good. Why not, because it's a TV series, why not amplify the things that you never really got to do in the movies because you just didn't have enough time? Like making a whole episode about like the main character learning how to mess with like potions and actually become proficient at using potions and all those kinds of things. It's like it kills me. It kills me that like so many things are like it's just the stupidest, like the hardest approach imaginable. Let's retell a story that most people already think is perfect. Great, and we'll take out stuff because we're limited for time and we have no budget. Is it going to be better? No. Is the thing that's already great going to still be there? Yes. Will people be incentivized to watch the thing then if it's not as good as the original and they won't just go back and watch the original? Yeah, probably not. They'll probably go back. They'll be like, this is nice. Reminds me how much I like the original. Or this is bad. That reminds me of how much I like the original. Boom, and they'll watch it. It's just nuts. People are crazy. There was one thing that I seen recently that I thought was nice. Oh yeah, the Mario movie. The Mario movie I thought was fun. It was like just cheeky, like it had the right amount of like, it's dumb, it's fun, it's about the most important people, Luigi and Mario and Peach, and yeah. Speaking of Coral Island, Everytho released early access into 1.0. It's not finished. There are literally whip things present still in it. I should not have come out of early access yet. What is it? What is this we're talking to? What is this? Coral Island? What's that? Red? Berserk. Fluff says Berserk heavily inspired Dark Souls, Elden Ring, and Dragon's Dogma. The latter had equipment from the original release. Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, what do you call it? Berserk is historic. I just always remember people. I think that's why people hate the anime so much, is because it just felt like it was such an undersell for the meaningfulness of the story that was in the manga. At least that's what I garner from it. Red says it's not Master Chief, it's Master Cheeks. Fluff says, pretty sure there's still a Hogwarts Legacy. That's exciting. That's fire. I cannot wait, because that's what I want. I want, like, I've always wanted Harry Potter, but without the time negation. I also want like other shows to do the magic like school thing, because I feel like it's just it's like isekai in anime, where like I feel like you could have 6 different people make that show and people would still be like, it's kind of fire, dude. It's kind of fire seeing like kids become assassins and then just like use weird fucking hidden blades and shit. Awesome. I think it's really cool when people like the school of magic, these people use magic. I think it's really cool when there's a school of summoning demons. I don't know. It could be literally a robot, AI. It could be like an AI school where they're trying to make robots and they beat the fuck out of each other at some point. Yeah, like I think that formula of like you're in an environment where you're supposed to be progressing and learning, and then here's also a world that's crazy, like a world that has these, like it's totally normal to get into 15 sword fights before you reach 10, shit like that. Like that's stuff that you can have fun with, you know. Also, I wanted to say this. I think, as far as my like whole manga manhwa journey, manga and manhwa journey, I very much feel like there's a lot of tropes within anime, such as like fantasy, overpowered, isekai is probably the most known one. I feel like there is very rarely, I don't think you could argue that in the world of anime and its various subcategories or tags, that isekai is an S tier. You can argue that it is played out to death, but you cannot argue that, if anything, has much, like, people are still kind of okay with isekai. Or they're like, yeah, I can get by with an anime that's isekai based. It just lasted the test of time. Whereas most things would have 3, like maybe 10 anime about them, and they'd be like, I'm out. I'm completely out. There's still a couple people who are like, let me watch some other stuff, but I'll come back and watch this weird isekai thing. Sure. I believe that regression has the potential to be the new isekai, okay? Let me tell you. Also, I think it's much more fun than isekai, actually. Regression is the best, okay? Instead of you being transported to another world, in the fantasy world, instead, you go back in time and you have a generalized memory of there's an OP sword over there, there's a cataclysmic demon dragon that's over there 20 years from now that's going to pop off. There's a fucking scary bitch over there that I accidentally met, and she's now my best friend, and it's weird. And now I'm going to go get that dragon when he's a baby and raise him. I'm going to go over there and get that weird power that one person got who was a calamity. And it's just so fun. I'm like fucking 15 manhwas deep at this point that all do that, and I'm just like, this is great. It's just the best. It's one of the best tropes ever. I hope more anime do it. I think there's like 2 anime that do it properly. The regression trope of, like, basically you're in the future, and then you go back in time, and then you have like a mapped out memory of all this stuff. It's also fun when, like, you're a badass demon man, and then you go back in time, so you're still a badass demon man, but you can do it all again and, like, shun the people who shun you, save some people. It's fun. It's just a fun trope. Anyways, I think that is also S tier. I think it also has the potential to go the distance, so to speak. Oh, my face. Do you guys have an anime that is an anime kind of thing, a subcategory, something that is also S tier, that would be like, it would go the distance? Fluff says, I need to grab something to eat, stepping away. Gotcha. Red says, yeah, the Harry Potter movies were wonderful. The spin-offs were off afterwards, much less so. I thought that was so fun. I actually really like Newt as a character. I wish Newt was I just like the idea of he would, like, instead of it, because fucking Harry Potter was kind of spectrum-y as well. Like, you know, he kind of was like very to himself, quiet as hell, didn't, sometimes bad with engagements, whereas Newt is to me like a very endearing character as far as like his kind of social awkwardness. I do think they made him worse though. I think in the first movie he was kind of like subtle, and then they kind of really ramped up his, like, I'm terrified, I don't know how to talk to people, and it's kind of, they revved it up way more, and I think they needed to, but I still thought it was nice. I do agree that, like, the original Harry Potter is kind of goated, but people hated the like the Newt Scamander ones, and I thought it was so fun. Fantastic Beasts is a goofy fun time, but I also have an inherent bias towards just liking, like, summoning and, like, monsters and stuff like that. Like, to me talking about movies was like, fair enough. It's rough. Like it says, is anyone interested in the new Metal Gear coming out? Do you think it is going to have a good direction without Kojima on board? I mean, I don't know, but I would assume that it's going to be okay. The reason why is because Metal Gear is such a like solid game in general, as far as like people having made a ton of it. And I think Kojima has done so much work to kind of build out that world, to build out those characters, to make things meaningful, etc., to where I think you could just kind of take what already was there and then just kind of like progress it by an inch and be like, okay, this. And I think what is there is so strong that building off of it, even poorly, would work for at least one game. Maybe when they get past 2 or 3, that's where I think it could fall apart. That's where, like, you need the guy who actually is able to do it. But also, I don't know, man. Some people are really good about, like if you get a hardcore fan that really loves the games but isn't quite as eccentric as Kojima, again, I think that's good for 2 games. But I do think eventually you need that eccentricness back, I guess, eventually, to kind of like say, like, fuck it, we're gonna go there. And they're like, sir, we have no idea how to get there. And they're like, yep. And you're like, okay. And you go there. But I think, again, if you had a really passionate fan, I think they could, or not fan, but like a person who was a fan and also knew how to, like, make games, I think that could potentially push it in that direction. Red says Hollywood has been lost and out of touch for years now. Yeah, well, we get every now and again. I wanted to actually run this by you guys. There's like a, well, you guys wouldn't care, but I would. I think it's neat. There's a neat. It's funny because Red messaged me a week ago, I think, and he was like, "Hey, I really enjoyed this kind of like sci-fi series back in the day, and I was wondering if it was good enough, or I'm wondering if it was as good as I remember it. So I went back and watched it. I think it's actually pretty good. You should watch it." Then I had to tell Red, I was like, I haven't like watched a TV show in like 7 years. It's been bad. I just don't want. Actually, that's not true. I watched What We Do in the Shadows, which was amazing. Such a good series. If you guys want like the best time ever, go watch What We Do in the Shadows. It's going to be a little jarring at the first 3 episodes, but I promise you will sink in, and it is so fun. To me, it's like The Office. It's just like that level of creative, fun, goofy. You could binge it. It's so fun. It's so fun. I also love monster movies in general, so I just love it in general. But what do you call it? I haven't watched TV series and movies in like a long time, unfortunately, just because I kind of have anime, and now I have Manhwa, so I don't even have time for anime really much anymore, even though I want to. So yeah, I'm kind of just pinched on time. But I did see this Netflix TV series come out, and I thought, oh shit, it's like a Netflix TV series about VR, and it just looks like a really interesting concept. Basically, it kind of like there's like this mysterious company that makes like this crazy VR headset where like it's basically like full dive. So basically you put it on and then you just go into like a dream state, and then you basically can experience any world. You can feel, touch, taste, all that kind of stuff. But nobody knows where it came from, and it has like a very special, like only certain people get these headsets, and they're like some sort of weird fucking fully steel, tiny, thin little crown that you put on. It's really dumb looking. Covers your eyes in a weird way too. Anyways. But basically, like the kind of thing, the overarching hint of the story is that like aliens made this, and it's kind of like trying to tell you something. Either that, or maybe that like the end of it's going to be like somebody made AI, and this is AI trying to tell you something. But it's really neat. Basically, it's like you go into this world and you have to kind of progress, but then they kind of get weird and dystopian on it, which I'm kind of worried about like them being like, I never want to leave. I want to stay in there forever. And I'm like, man, I just don't know anything that's like that. Sure, there are people who push like playing games for 48 hours, something like that. But 90% of people are kind of like, it's too much. Eventually something becomes too much, you know? Now, some people's too much. It's like doing something for 2 years straight. But then other people's too much is like, I got about 4 hours of this in me, and then I got to take a break for like half hour or something like that, you know? But I don't know, the TV series looked cool on Netflix. I thought it was one of the ones where I was like, I don't really watch TV series anymore, but this one's kind of very specific to my interests of VR and and like philosophy in a weird way. So like maybe, but I also don't have the most faith towards Netflix for various reasons, you know? So what's good, Rasta? Lycanthrope says, I would force myself to puke for VR, like the movie Ready Player One. Why? Yeah, what do you go? What? You would puke if you played VR like Ready Player One? Man, I'm telling you, Lycanthrope, I promise, you'd be able to just, if you just tiptoed into it, I think you can get into it. Also, man, the one thing that I still have not gotten into with VR yet, which I think is going to be really meaningful, in a weird way, is the VR chat. It just seems like it's such a good way to kind of communicate with people and like find interesting people, and yeah, even though I do know there's like you're basically going into a place with just like human beings, and human beings can be horribly manipulative and terrible, and other people can be beautiful and wonderful. But it just seemed like a really nice place to kind of be. So I wanted to, not be, it's just a good thing to do for your soul, for like socialization and stuff like that. So I wanted to do that eventually. But yeah. Rasta says, hey, what's good, Rasta? Rasta says, Grin, I like TV series called, you like the TV series? I know the Shogun. I've heard nothing but good things as well. It's like the new Game of Thrones. I've heard a bunch of people say that it's great. Oh, I don't know, man. I didn't even finish the Game of Thrones thing. Again, it's such a bad habit of mine, but it's like the more I enjoy something, the more I kind of want to leave it so that I can go back and watch it, but then I just have like a laundry list of things I enjoy, which I can call upon, but then I forget to watch them when I want to be happy. and yeah. Also, Lone, did you see the absolute stacked anime lineup this season. Holy shit, are we eating good? We got Konosuba, we got Reincarnated Slime back, we got some oldens coming back, we got what is it called? Sparkin', what is it called? Something Wolf. It's like the wolf, the husband and wolf anime. I can't think of what it's called. And then we got Black Butler coming back. What the fuck is that? Yeah, just a ton of stuff. By the way, I remember back in the day, this girl in my class was like super into anime, and she was into Sword Art Online, and I just thought, okay. And anyways, and then she was also really into Black Butler. She was really trying to get me to watch Black Butler. And I was like, I got my other shows I'm watching, I'm kind of enjoying, but maybe if I have extra time. I never ended up getting to watching it, but I finally watched it at like, fuck me, dude. I think I watched it like when I was like probably like 7 years after high school, and it's got like a ton of dark as hell shit in it. Like it's got like it's not good. It's got one of those in it, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Why is she asking me to watch this? And why do women gravitate to it? So I guess it's because the Butler guy is kind of like suave and British, I guess. But it was just one of those things where I'm like, this kid has got a horrible life, and a horrible life. What the fuck, dude? And Red says, back, what I missed, nothing. Too much for talking about how the anime lineup this week, or this summer, is stacked. Konosuba Season 3, yeah, that's true. We got that one as well. Spicy Wolf is what I was saying. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. They're rebooting it. They're rebooting, making it all pretty again. There's another one that's coming out. I can't think of what it's called. Oh, there's like fun ones where like they're the Demon King of Misfit High or something like that, whatever it's called. Just like a fun, goofy one. The one where like he's spinning a whole ass castle on his finger. It's fun. There was one other one that I thought, holy shit, we're just eating so good. Ooh. Ross says, isn't Overlord getting a comeback? Well, yeah, but Overlord probably winter, I would assume. But I don't think it's coming out summer. I do think Overlord is probably due for another season eventually, for sure. I do think Solo Leveling, though, it seems like, honestly, it might be one of those anime that just keeps chunking on through, just keeps going. Lone says, one of my female friends, we watched Black Butler together, and I was like, what the... Yeah, no kidding, man, right? I was like, women must have like a weird different thing, like where like that to them must just be like, it's kind of just it's insane. It's terrible what happened to them, or it's terrible what happened to the main character. I wonder because like there's, I don't want to get into it, but that's kind of like there's things where like, one of the things I've heard from my female friends is basically that like as a dude you could walk around at night and not feel as scared. Maybe you feel like somewhat scared if you're not an idiot, but like you could walk around and not feel like you could get like eviscerated. The argument against that for me has always been like, everyone can get eviscerated. Like if a dude is just ignorant, basically, another woman can come up to you and stab you in the back with a knife and you're dead. It's like the notion of you being physically stronger means nothing in the real world. Anyways, sorry. But maybe there's something in there to where like when they see someone else be in a state in which they're hyper vulnerable or hyper what's the word, targeted, I guess we could say, that to them is endearing because they also feel like they have the capacity to be targeted in such a horrible way. But yeah, it was one of those things where I was just like, man, this anime is, it kind of breezes by it. There's like one moment of it like happening and I'm like, ew, it is, yeah. Rasa says, or isn't overall getting another season? Probably. Like them says, okay, gotta pull me a little fuss butt to sleep. Wait, what? I gotta put my little fuss butt to sleep. She is 4. Oh, it's so cute. Go get her some sleep. I have 4 nephews, man, and they're just adorable. One of them is, I actually have more. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 nephews. Golly. Also, guys, if you do not know the pain of child strength, you're insane, man. If you've ever had 5 averaging weird children ages, like one is 8, one is 4, one is 3, one is 2, one is like I think 5, and they're all just running at you, and you're like hitting them away with pillows because you thought, I'm gonna be a fun uncle, we're gonna beat the fuck out of kids with some pillows. but they're relentless. Like, it's like I've never felt more like, oh, I get it now. Because when you're a kid, you're not like thinking in that way where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just like constantly running at my dad or my uncle or something like that, and I'm just like, yeah, we're just playing. And I'm like, why is he getting mad? And it's because like he's tired, dude. You've been doing this for an hour straight, and he's just fucking exhausted. And unless you're willing to be like an angry like your nephews, which are like, hey, stop it, fuck off, that's just too much. And I can't do that to him. I love him too much. I'm gonna be sad if I do that. So yeah, instead I just kind of got to be like, no, too much, no, too much, please, please, too much. And then they just keep coming at you full fucking tilt. It's brutal. It is so tiring. Red says, right, yeah, man, it's brutal. I just like, I never knew how, like, it's just the fucking, it's like exactly like the undead lich the strat, essentially, which is like, they're not strong, they're not clever in a lot of ways in this thing yet, but they're just fucking persistent. They just will never stop. They'll just keep going, bang, 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 and you're like, easy, easy, easy. Fast forward 20 minutes. Oh shit, guys, please, please stop it. Where are you out? Red says, Grin, did you play the Marvel 1994 video? Oh, no, we could do that. Yeah, we could do that. That was really impressive. Let me go to the ting. Oh, my body is hurting still. Oh, whenever I stand up, it's like my hip and back. Oh, stretched. Oh, yawn. Where is Red's thing? I think it's here where you're sending me it. Let's watch this one. You guys might see a bunch of nerdy white men, and we're one of them too, but yes, it's basically, this is a cool Unreal Engine demo, and it looks beautiful, but there's a press conference, so you guys are seeing a stage and shit, which is fine. But yes, I like it. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Like it. Enjoy the rest of your night. It was great talking to you, catching up. Hope I can see you again. Take care of your family. Love you. Bye. Red says, Grin, or that Marvel 19. Yeah, this one. It's basically like it's like an Unreal Engine Marvel thing. It looks very beautiful. Again, I like the video Red sent with this guy who does like commentary on stuff. He really shitting on Justice League a lot, or Suicide Squad a lot. But anyways, what do you call it? He uploaded a video talking about this, and he talked about the parallels of a game called Order 1886. Do you guys remember that game? Holy shit. I remember that game looking visually beautiful, but it just being like, it having no gameplay, I think, was what the main criticism of it was. But yeah, man. I'm tired. Alone says, Dragon's Dogma update. I have made my way to a volcanic island. Wait, what? Is that that's the bottom right hand corner of the map? Is that right? Okay. I thought you made it like, there is an island that is the end game island, and that game was so short. Wait, what? Oh yeah, the Order 1886. I imagine Lone would play it. I feel like Lone would play it for sure. No, that's not a bash at you. I just feel like at the era of that time, I feel like you'd have grinded up most games, most games, like me. So one of the games I missed though. Yeah, man, I'm kind of sad. I don't like again, I was pretty bummed last night when I found out that a lot of the material that I need to get to level up my characters, anything, is endgame material. So like, I need to get a what is it called? It's this special weird like black serrated fur or something like that from a character. But anyway, the point is, and I need to get past the coronation point, which I believe is the ending of the game. I haven't asked Fluff if that's what that is, but in order to get access to certain bosses to spawn, it's not a level requirement. I thought that would have been great. You reach level 60 and now you have like OP bosses spawning. Great. But it's not. You have to literally grind the quest to get to the end, so then you can actually have access to these endgame bosses, which I'm like, damn it, dude. What are you doing to me? God damn it. This is really cool though when they're like scanning around. Oh, there's dogs here. I'm missing them. My dog, not my dog, but my brother has this big ass Borbal. He's just beautiful, but he's just massive, and I just love it so much, man. I don't know what it is. We when we were a kid, we grew up with dogs, and we've always had like big dogs ever since I was like 1. So a big dog as a 1-year-old is a horse beast that is your best friend and loves you and will lick you to death. And it's just, it's like hugging onto a giant bear, essentially, as a child, because you can't even wrap your arms around him because he's so big. And it's just like a floofy, lovable thing that you just love so much. Anyways, needless to say, as we've gotten older and as they have, gotten older, passed away, etc., my parents bought smaller dogs because I imagine they were like, that was a lot. Shits were massive, etc. We haven't gotten those. But oh my God, man. There's nothing better than feeling like a solid 120-pound dog or some shit just cuddle up to you, just like be like, I'm a baby, pick me up. And you're just like, okay. And you give this big animal a hug, and then you realize, oh my, it's so heavy. And then you gotta be like, I gotta get stronger for my boy. And yeah, it's great, but I'm missing it. He's outside and I can't go see him, but it's fine. You guys are equally as wonderful, than a big floofy dog. That's saying a lot, okay? The game was short. I didn't play it. I only heard about. Oh, okay. Fluff says it's a quest progression locked. Yeah, I know. It's just, God damn you. The main quest is pretty short, but it guides you through all the key points of them. That is true. I will also say though, I do think. There is one, I'm not sure if there's more, maybe Fluff would know this better than me, but I did see like a video that's like everything that you need to do before you get to endgame, basically. But I do know one of the quests that you can actually fuck up pretty bad is like a ball in my chest. One of the things you can mess up really bad is there is a, I'm blanking out. So the main town you get to, which is Mara or something like that, not the first little tiny settlement, but the actual main town, which gets attacked by a dragon. That town actually progresses, I think, only when you do the story. So when you you keep getting quests that's like, come back to this town where this lady really likes you, and you all that stuff. So then you have to keep coming back to the town and being like, hey, what's up? And you got to keep like solving that problem. But if you like bull rush through the story, I do believe it basically changes the outcome of what happens in that town without you being able to actually help, which is important to make sure you do those quests before you do the main story quests, just so that it's finished up. But I do think, I wonder if it's like you do the story quest and then it unlocks the chain of events that helps you basically make the town okay, or if it's you have to do a story quest, go back to the town, story quest, go back to the town, and vice versa. I do know that Fluff has done the quest because his companion always tells me whenever I equip it, he's like, I know where she is. And I'm like, okay, I thought I had to look it up, but I guess you do. You know where she is. Great. Mel, thank you. That's what it's called. Fluff says, the main quest is pretty short. It guides you to the point of the key maps. Fluff says the quest. Fluff, when you progress through the main story, do you eventually repair the ox carts in the lower region? Not the lowest region, but the slightly lower region. Fluff says the quest regarding the coronation is the point of no return. You can miss out on Eureka and Melv / Harav. What are those, Fluff? You wouldn't mind telling me. So there's Melv. Okay, so Eureka, are these all Melv things? Or are these other settlements I should go to before I... Okay. Before I, fuck up. So just do the Melv. Melv is the one we all know that we need to do before things get jeopardized. Also, man, the queen is... All ox... Oh, no, that was to the ox carts. Okay, so yes, the ox carts, all ox carts work for me. Okay, good, yeah. Because I couldn't, I went down there too early, I guess, and the ox carts are broken. So I had to run everywhere, and I was like, fuck, this just sucks. But I think it's just like as soon as you get the passport down there, then you get the quest to meet the prince, I would imagine, or the queen in that area. And then I imagine she's like, monsters are killing all of us. Please, go kill the dragon or something that's been wrecking our whole ox cart population. I'm like, got it. Red says, there is a quest to investigate what happens to the ox carts. You likely ignored it. I don't think I ignored it. It would have popped up then. So wait, do I just go down there and ask? So is there a quest? So I don't need to actually to get the main story quest in order to actually get that quest? I thought it would be. I thought it was under. I went up to the ox cart notice, and it says like ox carts are out of commission due to monster events, essentially. And I was like, okay. I don't think I got a quest that dinged up and said like, hey. What I thought was going to be what I thought was happening was basically you need to get to the point in the story where you're able to progress down there, because I believe the ox cart quest to repair it would probably have you go talk to the important person. He's hardly done the quest. He's being lined to magic. I wouldn't even say that. I would just say I haven't. Well, yeah, that's true, I guess. But I would. My main thing is that I just don't do the main story quest because I don't want to do the main story quest. It's not because it's not good, it's just because there's so many other things that are more meaningful to do. Not only the magic archer, but killing enemies, leveling up my gear. These are all things that are, to me, way more interesting than talking to a bunch of people for 20 minutes. I don't think it's, to me, I think the main story is cool. I can't wait to do when I do it. But I wouldn't say that it's because I wanted to get magic archer that we're there. Even if there was no magic archer, there's still weapons and armors that are down there that I would have wanted to get. So I think I would have went down there regardless. It's not just because of magic archer or any other reason. It's just because I in every game that I've ever played, we don't do the story. Do we do any story for Starfield? I just don't do the story. Mostly also because it's spoilery. That's also a kind of like a good passive reason why, is because most of the time it spoils things, and I don't like to spoil things. Even though I think spoilers are just, it's such an impossible thing as a content creator to ever do, because I'd have to know if I put this benchmark of, okay, we won't spoil anything past this point. What if there's someone who's at this point, and then we spoiled him, and why are we putting this person above that person? It just seems like it's a really difficult thing to actually like own up to and do. Also, I don't want to be robbed of being able to talk about things I'm excited for when it comes to certain parts. If I find a cool armor and I'm like, that was awesome, even though some people would determine I might spoil that for them, etc. I don't like. It's hard. It's just a difficult problem to solve when there's a spoiler thing there. But anyways, regardless, story is one of the ones where it's like, that's pretty easy to spoil, Fluff says, you need to do more quests in Vermont, otherwise you don't have this a sequential broker. Yeah, because that's what I was thinking about. I don't think I was, like Red put it as I likely ignored it, and I'm like, I don't think I would likely ignore something like that. That's one of the first things I would do, because it's like a quest line that gives you the ability to save 4 hours 4 hours of running around. Yeah, no, fuck it, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna ignore that. I might have missed it. You need to do more of the quest. Red says there is an NPC just outside the checkpoint arrest gate you need to talk to. It's an NPC staring next to the ox cart stall. Okay. Key events are held by the quest. You won't. Yeah, that was the other thing. I heard a lot of events. One of the things that makes, I can't even imagine how frustrating certain people are going to be for Dragon's Dogma guides, because a lot of people will say like, oh yeah, when you get to this point, you'll be able to go down here and get this thing, and you're like, okay, you go down there. Nope, absolutely not. It's not working for me. And then a lot of it is like, you have to go do this quest. You have to go over here and do this one thing, and you're kind of like, you didn't tell me that, man. Same thing is like, there's a video I watched where it's like, in order to get this cool item, this kind of in order to get this cool, like again, this hide from this monster, I need to go over. You just need to go here and kill this thing. And then everyone in the comments is like, I go there and the thing is like a normal lion. What? And then thank God there's like, again, the comment section save a lot of people, but they're like, guys, I've been doing this for 4 hours. You have to do the main story quest up to this point, then they spawn. Like, it would be sure as hell nice to know, like, you need to have this done, and then you go. And it's funny because I think, like, content creators are a little bit daunted because it is so, did I loop this? Let's see. I did not. What do you call it? I think content creators are so, like, it's a dynamic world. It's so hard to kind of plan for. But, I think it's not that dynamic. That's right, it is dynamic. It's just not dynamic enough to where you couldn't, like, find out the triggers, I guess. Also, I guess there's no, like, loading saves, which makes it easy to test things. So, yeah. A key event were held by... I should have said... Yeah, I missed. I got a little defensive when you you said I ignored it. I was like, well, I'm not trying to be ignorant, okay? Maybe I was, what do you call it? I didn't notice something, which I would agree with. When you said I ignored, I'm like, we wouldn't ignore something important like that. Of Love says, I'm not judging you for how you play, Grin, but I'm just stating why you may have overlooked the quest or ones that aren't available until you are in Vermont quest. Yeah. To me, I just, again, it's one of those things where, like, I think people get a lot of things from games that are different. And for me, the way I love stories so much, like I cannot tell you guys, it's the only thing I really want to do with my life is kind of, if I could tell you guys stories for the rest of my life, I would. Like, just in the case of VR, it's like a fun little prompt, or it's a story of what I experienced in this fun thing. So I love stories to death, but at the same time, my love for stories always makes me also act really weirdly around really good stories. So I'm really enjoying a story, which I am actually really enjoying Dragon's Dogma story. I find myself not wanting to kind of continue with it. And yeah, it kind of creates this weird thing where, like, I end up kind of screwing myself over in a lot of ways. But it's annoying when a game is like, you can go anywhere and do anything. Technically, that's true, but we did put blockade, so you have to still do certain story beats. And you're like, okay, kind of weird, don't like that. Yeah, technically you can go to the lower levels, but we've kneecapped you because you haven't done the story. I'm like, great. Awesome. There is choice, but it's a son of a bitch at the end of the day. Red says, it's the quest that does not jump, that does not pop out. Yeah. It's also annoying. I wish that was something. I remember, like, I wish NPCs ran you down and were like, hey, come do this thing. Fluff says, a lot of guides people don't realize people aren't doing the main story. Yeah. Red says, I just naturally gravitate towards ignore because your quest log is is massive and kind of neglected. There's so many things to do, Red. There's so many things, like killing monsters, going to get this cool little armor piece I found that isn't actually as good as I thought it'd be in terms of look, and I get depressed, and then we just keep moving on. We just keep trucking along. And yes. And also, I cannot believe how easy it is to level up outside of quests. I'm level 40, and I think I've done 4. No, I've been 8. 8 quests in. I've 8 quests, and we were at level 43, I think. So, yeah, I'm hoping Fluff's right in the fact that it's just not very long. It's just like a very short main story quest line. So whenever I want to finally I can just send it. And yeah. Red says, I get it. There's just so many things to do. Yeah, I mean, I still find it a little bit annoying. Again, it's like there's some criticism for Dragon's Dogma that I think are valid in a weird way, just because it seems like we're like pussyfooting around choice that doesn't seem like it needs to necessarily be there. Like, in the game, they intrinsically have something called warfare, where you can equip anything. Like, the thing that does the thing is already in there. It's not like there's some sort of complicated code that makes it so that, like, no, it's conflicting with this and it just doesn't fit into that. We coded everything to work perfectly into these one things. Yes. So we can theoretically put on anything. I would love it if they were like, if you are the class, you get a 20% bonus in defense, magic, whatever the thing is. But the fact, like, and you get a negative if you wear. But I just at least want to be able to wear some of the things that look so good that make the whole look come together, especially for my pawn, of all things, you know? Because, yeah, that's one thing that's driving me a little bit of a wall where I'm just like, it just doesn't look quite right. I'm trying to find the right thing. Red sent me a mod that basically allows you to put on anything, on your character at least. And, yeah, it's just like, damn you, you know? Fluff said, DCP is mostly gained by combat, not quests. Okay, I see. Is it? What do you mean? Like, I know there's like the actual experience points, and then there's like the progression of you and your proficiency for your vocation. So there's like the experience that come with that vocation or that anything, and then there's the vocation level up. I think they're different. One benefits massively from killing bosses, which is I think the vocation level up stuff, and then the just static points improves from kills. But I do think there's a static XP thing that is both quest and kills oriented. If that's, I think that's true, because I always notice I level up right around the same time I'm progressing with my archery stuff or my vocation levels. DCP is most likely gained by combat, not quests. But quests open up new ways to get more DCP. I feel like I've had too much DCP at this point. We've had a lot of DCP. I do find myself though, like, it is crazy just not being like hyper proficient that bothers me. Like, we're playing the Warfare right now, and it's not that noticeable, but it's noticeable enough to where I'm like, I want to play the boy that just right through. You know what I mean? I want to play Mr. Magic Man, and it's just killing me. It's killing me that I can't actually. Yeah, you know, it's bothering me. I'm like, but please. It sucks because like the Magic Archer special vocation ability is actually really good, but it's also one of the only like negative vocations that kill you. But it's worth it because some of the warrior vocations are like, I can do like a 5-hit combo, but the damage is just normal. You know, and you're like, okay. I might actually like test. I'm not sure if I'll fully commit, but I might test changing my character's temperament, because it's tough, man. My character just doesn't go in, like, my character, it's weird because, and maybe that's my problem, maybe I need to like stop moving around so much, but I always try to backpedal. And I always find my character, because I start to backpedal, my tank ends up like going behind me, assuming that I'm moving that way, instead of staying in front of me. And then as soon as I get hit a bunch, that's when she comes in. But I'm like, you gotta be fucking here before I get hit. Like, you know, before I get knocked down. Before I run out of stamina. Pawns are hidden from the rift if you wear gear that's not normally allowed for their vocation. Yeah, what do you call it? Red was telling me that. The job remover, a mod, does work for your pawn. It's just that equipped your pawn in the gear. Yeah, will not let it be access to multiplayer or online play. Fluff says, and yeah, you have character XP and discipline ladder, literally purely gain via combat. Yeah. I will say one thing that really helped me understand how like the whole thing works in the game as far as like farming bosses. Basically, if you actually like stick around an area long enough and you've killed a monster, you'll see that their body like lights on fire and starts to decay almost, like turns into like ash essentially. But basically that's showing that the body is decomposing. So you need to wait a sufficient amount of days to where the body is decomposed. The thing that sucks, and the thing I'm just like really devs, could we not have just made it a uniform respawn thing, like 4 days or 3 days? Instead, there's like the troll respawns every 3 days, I think, and then the fucking chimera respawns every like 7 or something, and you're like, God damn you, why? This was needless. I guess maybe it's like, it's a bigger beast. It takes a long time to decompose, and I'm just like. Fluff says, and yeah, you have character over Fluff says, be sure to use the go command so pawns will. I do, but it's still, I find that it's still fucky. I honestly also feel like I need, like, I think I was trying to think of what the best rings to give her are, because I think if you level up, again, I think if I level up her weapons enough, I think she's going to knock down anything that she touches. But I am finding it's like a weird struggle bus to try to get her to have sufficient aggro. Like, I find enemies aren't aggroing on her all the time, which I hope they would. And then I find enemies still aggro on me, and I'm not sure if all I need is that one skill that makes me basically like it's like the archer skill where you're just less targeted. I don't know if I need that skill or if I need her to have like 2 rings that or just pull aggro, you know? And I don't know. I think it's either that or the 2 stamina rings. So I just can't see that like leveling up your weapon where you have like 800 knockdown is not going to result in her like just dropping bitches essentially, you know? Also, it is crazy, man. The amount, like, dragons must have just like a really, really high proficiency against magic, because every single beast I slaughter, but when it comes to a dragon, I'm like, oh, it's taking some time. A lot of weird crit spots on the chest. Also, man, it is so frustrating that the sorcerers specifically do not use the flare on enemies so consistently. I don't know if it's possible to like strip a lot of the other abilities off of your character, but holy shit, I would so much rather my sorcerer just fucking swing, like, so, like, put the flare on them, please, instead of being like, I'm gonna cast lightning for the 15th time, even though it forces me to stand still and all that shit, and you're like, stop, please stop. unless you don't. Oh, right, yeah. The go command, though, is important. I do know that bit. But ladies and gentlemen, this, by the way, the thing that Red showed us was awesome. This is the, again, it's the Unreal Engine. It shows you how there's like multi-layered layering system to like foliage, dirt, snow, and how it can just systematically like kind of be placed on anything instead of having to make like a barrel with like a dirt texture and then adding a snow texture and then adding like another soot texture on that. Instead, you can just what do you call it? Instead, you can just add layers that kind of do that instead of having to make a brand new instance of that thing with the desired effect each time, which is crazy. Yes, I still think it is a meme that Unreal Engine is like, there's no efficient game using Unreal Engine in terms of like it being it running smoothly because yeah. But again, I think it's because Unreal Engine has a lot of optimization tools built in and developers lean on that too much maybe. Do you guys find the faces Uncanny Valley yet or no? Uncanny Valley or not yet? Oh, my eyes are drying up. Fluff says, and yeah, you have character XP and discipline. All right, remember that. But also, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to be winding down. This was tons of fun. I feel like I missed something I wanted to talk to you guys about. I mean, I did talk about the whole monetization thing. Again, I'm just really grateful that we have that. It kind of puts a fire under my ass to be like, okay, now we can. Well, we already were, but like it makes me want to do even more as far as making those videos better and better and better if I can. I do believe I can. And yeah, we finally invested in this, so I think the audio hopefully is good. I do know the audio is good. It is okay like this, but I do think it is. Oh, give me a sec. Oh, it's hard to kind of pull off. There we go. Is that right? I do think it is better like when it's actually facing my mouth like this. Like that sounds significantly better because it's actually there. Also, I look like premium gamer man extraordinaire. Oh, look at us go, gang. Look at us. We're like that esports commentator guy. Woohoo. Can I do this? One sec. Oh. There we go. Pull my hair back a little bit. There we go. Much better. Oh. They do feel pretty good around my ears, though. They also have, like, it's also extremely light, because I think there's just not a lot of, like, bars. Like, this is all just two pieces of tiny little bit of metal. But it sounds pretty good. I hope it sounds great. I gotta try to find. Is that right? Is that the better thing? Is that right? Red says, unless you don't care about online feature. Red says, no. What was that referring to? Fluff says, be sure to use the go command to do that for it. No, not yet. What do you mean not yet? Oh, the Uncanny Valley thing. Gotcha. Not yet. I would say it gets close. I think you guys hit the money on the mark where it's like, it's kind of a little odd, but not quite that odd, you know? Fluff says, the first experience I have with the uncanny effect is with Uncanny Valley effect is with Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, I think I agree with that. It's a little bit much. My face is itchy. Fluff says, where it almost looks real, but there's something off. Yeah. I don't know, man. There's like a big push right now with that in like the Apple Vision Pro, where they're like these avatars look hyper realistic to human beings. And to me, I'm like, okay, I hope one of them does like a cell-shaded character creator kind of thing. I mean, it kind of does it, but it's kind of like weirdly cartoony and soft. I want something like stylized like Borderlands. I think that would look absolutely beautiful, you know? And yeah, but I don't know if we'll actually get that, like an actual like stylized character creator where like it scans your face and it says like, okay, beard, thicker eyebrows, tanner skin, black hair, black eyes, boom, you know? Rather than being like, let me try to map out the 3D model of your whole ass face. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Fluff says, where it looks more, something's off, yeah. Otherwise, I have no issues with it. Yeah, this one I think was a good balance. I feel like I always find that the Uncanny Valley effect appears to me in like a split-second shot. It's not like it's always there, but it's like there's enough there where you're like, this one moment where he like looks behind himself and like the angle catches him and like, this just looks weird. Whether it's like, it's not the way a human being moves, so like the animation's off or something, you know? Something just looks a little weird. But ladies and gentlemen, that was the stream. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to watch the stream back and make sure I basically see if the audio is good, to see if I need to tweak the bass, sync it a little bit better probably, so that it's right on the wire what actually I want to have happen. Hopefully that was somewhat close, so it wasn't agonizing watching this. But ladies and gentlemen, this was a wee bit of an investment, so hopefully it works out. Again, the cool thing is actually, we should do that before we actually see. Let me see. I wanted to check and see if, and this could be, this is either going to be like uncomfortable and we'll just manage through it, or this is going to work. Let's see. This is my Oculus headset thing, and this is the piece of shit microphone that we used for such a long time, this little guy. Let us see if I can wear this while wearing that. Does that make sense? I don't know. Put this right here. Put on the headset. Strap into the matrix. Okay. Okay, now, does it go over the ears? Good enough. It's not great, but it is okay. It kind of doesn't really, wait, no, it does. I just got to put it over that strap. And now, it works. I'd say it works. So now we can do VR while sounding not like shit. And hey, gang, we're doing it. I can see you, but you can't see me. My eyes are in the darkness, and I can just see a little slit, and I can see you. Everyone say goodbye. Thank you so much for stopping by. Everyone, you're being so sweet. Otherwise, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I think we will be playing more Dragon's Dogma. Hopefully next time we play, we can finally finish off the pawn that is the best tank. I can give you guys an update on the armor that we chose. I think we might just be using the armor that we had, but I might just say, you know what, fuck it. If we're going to make an absolutely a shield main, we're going to make an absolute shield main, so we will see. But I think that is going to be how it goes. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hope I can see you once again, and good. But wait. Bluff says, oh no, Grinn's hiding his dragon play. Hey, you don't worry about it. I don't entirely agree with your choices, but I'm here. Okay. I think, you know what, I'll do it, but I'm not sure if I enjoy doing it. Okay.